in a time beyond the events of the assault of Paradigm, months and years following the events of the Godworm Conclave, between the shadows and beyond the depths of darkness, something stirs. A cavern, suffocated in ice and snow. Within this cavern, far beyond the perception of the civilized world, an arcane machine sparks to life. The turning of gears and the rush of electricity awakened the chamber. A black glass panel upon this large device awakens with a bright white hue. A blinking black box sits in the corner of the screen. Thinking. Processing. A series of black pixelated text crawls across the screen. Reinitializing. Administrator access required. A flash of static strikes across the screen like lightning. The previous phrase has been replaced, rewritten. Overriding. Another major surge of power courses through the machine. Sets of large, coiled tubes erupt in a dull blue light, revealing within this thick, clear fluid. This series of wires and tubes lay sprawled across the floor behind the arcane device. More lights spring to life, revealing these huge glass containers, each one roughly 6 feet in diameter, easily 10 feet high. 3 of these chambers stand void of any contents, while the other 2 are filled with a thick fluid. One contains a minute, shrimpy form of something seemingly long since dead, though its form has been primarily preserved. The other contains a fully developed white tiefling. The figure's flesh is uncomfortably smooth, resemblant of the plastic of a mannequin, but retaining the sensitivity of flesh. Its physique depicts the contouring of musculature, but lacks the mass that comes with it. More so, this form seems to lack any distinguishing features that would convey biological sex. This figure rests in the glass chamber in this purgatorial status, seemingly unaware of life and the world around it. Its only home being this glass chamber. Its only friend being the thick, near gelatin fluid that preserves it. After a few moments, the console speaks again. Project Lazarus status. Operational. Days since last maintenance. 2,372. Subject status. Lazarus 1. Missing. Lazarus 2. Ready for deployment. Lazarus 3. Fetal. A message blinks repeatedly. Immediate attention required. Lazarus 4. Ready for incubation. Lazarus 5. Ready for incubation. A few moments go by. Deploying Lazarus 2. The loud hiss of releasing steam emanates from the glass chamber. The fluid within the nylon tubes and the glass chamber begin to glow. Suddenly there is a loud pop, followed by a light whispering of smoke that escapes from the arcane device. A new line of text forms across the screen in a lash of static. Error. Arcane matrix damaged. Emergency deployment initiated. Sparks escape from the device. Electricity courses up through the tubes and into the glass chamber. The figure within shakes uncontrollably as it is struck by the electric surge. Veins across the form bulge and a series of fractal scars form across its visage. The steam intensifies and there is another pop and a spark from the arcane device before the glass shatters, exploding outward. The fluid within covers the floor, desperate to escape the confines of the glass prison. The figure falls to the floor with a heavy thud. A rhythmic blare fills the chamber like a fire alarm. A few moments pass before the figure shoots to life in a cough. Fluid erupts from the figure's throat, joining its peers amongst the broken glass and scattered wiring. The figure takes a few deep, steady breaths as it takes in its surroundings. The tiefling slowly lumbers up to its feet, still struggling to catch its breath. Now, fully aware, it looks down at its hands, inspecting its form like a painter inspects its magnum opus. Cuts from the broken glass give way to the trickling of bright blue blood, looking for freedom. The figure seems to focus, exhausting what little effort it can muster. The faint flicker of magic emanates from its fingertips before fading. Disappointed or perhaps frustrated, the figure takes notice of the rhythmic siren that echoes within the chamber. It lumbers over to the console and begins to type away. It's merely a moment before the sound of the blaring siren is replaced with a soft clattering of keys. Words and phrases materialize across the screen once more. The tiefling writes, Project Lazarus. The console responds, Administrator access required. The tiefling sneers, hesitating before typing in a singular word. Genesis. A moment passes in silence. Administrator code accepted. The tiefling types again. Project Lazarus. Project Lazarus status offline. The screen speaks before it flickers again in static. Run diagnostic, the tiefling types. Running diagnostic. A few moments pass before static strikes and the device sparks again. Error. Extensive damage. Maintenance required. Days since last maintenance, 2,372. It is as this number exposes itself that the figure seems to truly understand where it is. Its posture slumps slightly. A confused, desperate expression crawls across its face. The figure balls a fist in frustration before slamming it down upon the device, leaving a significant dent in the console, which proceeds to shut down in response. After a few moments of frustrated growls, the tiefling collects itself, standing abnormally upright once again. It moves to a corner in the cavern where this arcane-infused safe sits. Within, the figure grabs a set of hooded robes and leather gloves, a pocket grimoire, a journal, a hooded lantern, and a set of iron tongs. It returns to the device and pries open a panel set in the back of the console. Within the console rests a crystalline shard, a fragment of something vile, something much more sinister than Meridium. The figure takes the tongs and transfers the shard from the device into the lantern, which proceeds to light the chamber in a sickly purple glow. The hiss of pressure gives way to the creaking of a heavy bulkhead door. The figure raises a hand to shield itself from the blinding daylight. The mountainous terrain screams in a choir of bitter, cold wind. The figure stands upon the cliffside, the ice and snow biting at the still fresh wounds. It opens a journal, revealing a well-aged draft of a map, one that's been heavily scrawled upon. A landmark has been circled in bright red, a series of question marks littered around it. The tiefling's gaze drifts north, almost instinctively. No matter. Her vision shall be realized. Your will shall be done. The figure mutters solemnly before beginning their descent. Hello, everyone. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Hello, and welcome to the Campaign 1 Wrap-Up Roundtable. Hey, guys.
Hi. I can't.
Oh, we're in the
like-
shit.
I can't begin to describe how livid I am at how I can, and also how excited I am. I have new tools and toys to bully him with.
Hey, shout
I
out
will
to
make
CG.
his life a living hell.
Shout out to CG, by the way.
Yes.
Why?
Who?
Sorry.
Shout out to CG, by the way, who, upon me showing the party the stat blocks of the Blood Talons, noted a particular spell upon Elrock's stat block. CG, do you want to vocalize what that spell was?
No.
Would it happen to have been clone by any chance?
It was clone.
Oh,
God
fuck
damn
I was
it.
actually on the way back from dinner with your mom. I was like, was he cloned? I was thinking that in my head.
Oh. Hey, guys. Welcome on in.
Hi.
Hello.
Fuck that guy.
Unyielding rage. Hey, this just means you get to kick his ass all over again.
That's true. Hey, you know what? On the
I will
plus
bully
side,
him.
Marissa is dead.
She sure is.
True.
I will traumatize him.
Full, full transparency in this moment, because obviously I've filled y'all with anxiety again. He's the only motherfucker coming back.
You better be!
He's the only one
thank
coming
God.
back. And that is something that I've had planned since before the game ended. I was
I
like,
believe you.
he's gonna be the thing that carries over into the next campaign that sets things into motion. But, my friends, hello and welcome on in. We are here to do a little bit of a discussion to wrap up Campaign 1 and say our final goodbyes to Exilia Regalia. I've got some tunes I'm gonna play here. Hold on, let me, real quick.
Tunes.
Some tunes.
And what tune are we playing?
Here we go, friends. Got some lo-fi jazz on for y'all. I am sharing it in the Discord if y'all wish to take a little listen.
You like jazz?
Yeah.
I do actually, yeah.
Same.
Jazz is a very good ambient music, especially when
It
you're
is
gonna
very.
yap a bunch with your friends. But yeah, so welcome on in. We're doing quite a few things today. So today we are doing a little bit of a Q&A. My players, as well as you guys at home, can ask all your burning questions about Campaign 1 and all the things relating around that. And what you just heard a few minutes ago was your very first sneak peek at Campaign 2, which, as I elaborated at the epilogue, the epilogue session that we did, Sins of the Blood. So we're going to talk about that today. You guys are going to get a lot of information regarding that and when that's coming, what that will entail, and just a whole bunch. Y'all are getting a bunch of information today, and we got some fun things lined up for you. I have a very special thing that I will be playing for y'all a bit later, time providing. But I would like to very much do it, so I'm gonna try to keep time in mind. But yeah, we're here with our cast of goons. Guys, you're back.
Yeah!
Hold up.
Dinosaur
Yay.
story.
Hold up. We gotta run through the list. Guys, who do we have? Guys.
Yo.
Okay, we have guys. Gals.
Oh.
Okay, got gals. Non-binary pals.
It's me!
Yeah.
It's you.
We got the full roster. Let's go, baby.
You're at the full roster. Yeah, Bun is here.
Yeah, hello.
Bun has been a major part of this campaign up to this point. Bun is responsible for all the character art that you're currently seeing on screen. Mine excluding. So it only
not
seemed
yet.
fitting that Bun be here tonight. And Bun has questions as well, so. But yeah. I guess the first thing that we need to talk about is what, going into Campaign 2, what exactly is changing? We'll kind of get some of the big stuff out of the way. So some of the stuff that's changing or some of the stuff that's new, addressing the elephant in the room, are we swapping to 2024? No. However, I will be taking some aspects and implementations from 2024 and applying it into this for Campaign 2. So there are some rules that I really like that I am going to be using from 2024 and implementing into this. One of the big ones being the change to healing spells. While I'm taking some spell revisions and applying it to this, I currently have no plans to make a full transition into 2024 for Campaign 2, but it is not impossible. So, that's the big thing. That's the big thing with that. So yeah, expect some changes from what we did last campaign being purely 5e, and expect some new things coming in with 2024. The other thing, we are making an official swap to Jumpgate, which is the big new fancy Roll20 program that they've been implementing and they've been doing a lot of tests on, and I really like it so far. So Campaign 2, provided nothing explodes, Campaign 2 will be via Jumpgate here on Roll20. I'm excited for that. What else? What are some other big things? I guess some other big things is that I'm going to be using a lot more assets for Campaign 2. So maps are going to be revised. I'm going to be using new new things for art. So we have a resident artist, obviously, but like one of the things I'm going to be trying to get into a bit more now is going to be using Hero Forge for some of the inspirations and visages of a lot of the NPCs that the party's going to come across, because as some of you know, I use a lot of art a lot of art that I pulled off from the web in the last campaign. It's something that's always kind of bugged me is that I never credited people for that art. So one of the big changes in regards to art and using images for characters and places is that I'm going to be using more things like Hero Forge, and things that I make on my end. And then the Hero Forge has stepped up their game. That is correct. And I'm going to be for art that I pull from other sources, I'm going to try my absolute best to credit them where appropriate. So if I pull like I pulled a lot of stuff off of Pinterest from the last game. So I felt like in some circumstance it was hard to find the official artist for stuff that I pulled from there. I want to try to do my absolute best to give credit where credit's due, because obviously somebody worked hard on that art. So I figured it's only necessary that I credit them where appropriate. What is Roll20?
I'll kill you if you don't.
What is Roll20? What? Yes, as you should. What is Jumpgate? So Jumpgate is basically Roll20 2.0. It's got all sort of up-to-date hardware and tech. I know, like, for example, like, maps and stuff are way smoother now. There are options for, like, a foreground layer, which is really cool. It's just more advanced Roll20, basically. It's for the sake of, like, performance and new tools for me to mess with. Yes, roofs! Jake has been using Jumpgate for the Tuesday games, and it's been really, really nice seeing that implemented. So, we will be making the swap to that. I also have a new little tool that I'm about to pick up called Tiny Glade, which is this lovely little, like, builder game on Steam that I think I'm gonna start using to build, like, locations to give a visual representation of how locations look. So, like, if you guys walk into, like, a noble's estate, I could be like, boom, this is what it looks like, for example. Just for example. But yeah, so on top of that, I kind of mentioned maps. The map is getting a bit of a revision going into campaign 2. As kind of explained during the epilogue of the last game, shit went down following the Assault of Paradigm, so the world is changing quite severely. There are going to be a lot more territories, new territories that are going to be established. Some locations are getting revised, and in some aspects, there's a few that are even getting, like, added on to. And some places will be getting revised, like, places will be renamed, etc., etc. Yeah, so those are some of the big things. And then, of course, I guess this is more for my players and whatnot. There is going to be an official calendar going into campaign 2 for the Vanahir, the Vanahir year. So for those who don't know, the Vanahir calendar is it is 12 months. Each is divided into 4 weeks, being 28 days. So a full year is 336 days. And going into campaign 2, there's going to be, like, an official, like, timetable that y'all will be able to follow, which I think is going to be quite cool. And then one of the biggest changes, one that I've been working on for a very long time, as a few of these goons can attest to. Going into this campaign, we are going to have our own official Vanahir Pantheon.
Yeah.
It is going to be the, like, go-to Pantheon going forward. I'm kind of doing the Matt Mercer strategy in this regard and kind of establishing my own Pantheon, so that way I don't get in quote-unquote trouble, or in case there are issues with Wizards of the Coast for whatever fucking reason. It's just another way to kind of make us our own individual setting, if that makes sense. So that I'm excited about. That I've been working. Bun and Jake can attest, especially. I've been working on that Pantheon for a long fucking time.
Oh yeah.
Starting off at level 1, or is that undecided yet? I will get into that. I'm mainly I'm doing the best I can, man. I'm gonna go over more of the campaign 2 info here in a little bit. Right now, I'm just kind of going over what some of the big changes are. The other big change, and then I'll kind of go over this, and then we'll kind of get into like the Q&A section of this. Going into campaign 2, we're doing a bit of a tone shift. So I've kind of warned these gamers already that going into campaign 2, I've compared it to my homebrew Curse of Strahd. So there are going to be darker themes. There are going to be a few more horror aspects. There's going to be I don't know what the term for this would be. There's going to be, I guess, harder core gameplay. So I'm going to make I'm going to be throwing greater challenges at my party, but to compensate for that, giving them greater rewards for conquering said challenges. Like, for one, I'm going to be rewarding note-taking in that at the start of every session,
Let's go.
somebody will get the opportunity to recap what happened in the last session and get inspiration for it. But on top of that, I'm going to be dishing out inspiration more. Inspiration is not going to be a single use resource. You're not going to get one and then it's stocked until you use it. No, you'll be able to start accumulating and saving your inspiration for however long you want it. So you can.
But what
I'm kind of doing like the. Was that?
You're planning on hurting us more, is what I'm hearing.
I might.
Once again, there's a reason he's the #1 trauma inducer in my Discord, and has been for 2 years.
Cosmic Horror and Horror S campaign sounds fucking rad. I've kind of compared one of the comparisons I made about this campaign to Bun was that I'm kind of leaning like Bloodborne-esque with this.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about. I've got ideas. But yeah, so I'm kind of, as far as the inspiration goes, as an example, I'm kind of taking like the Baldur's Gate 3 sort of rule. You can accumulate it, and then there's like a soft cap, quote unquote. I'm not really gonna cap it all that much, but if I find out that somebody has like, I don't know, 10 points of inspiration stocked for whatever reason, I may have to be like, all right, I need you to use a few of these.
I'm just gonna load them into the gun and at the end of the game, okay? Don't look.
The way I described the feel of campaign 2 to my players was that I'm taking the kid gloves off, and I may get, who knows, I may get a session in and then start babying them. I don't fucking know. But that's kind of been the thought process thus far. More strenuous and abstruse, is that word?
Yes, it is.
Abstruse events, but actual light at the end of the Sisyphean tunnel. Yeah, you could describe it like that. Dog Souls meets Bark Bone.
Bone.
Bark bone.
Oh god, we're going to the vet, aren't we?
They should have called it
Take a
Bark
bite of your
Bone for how
nuts.
many werewolves were in that game.
You're so right. They were some
Great
of the first
doctor,
hard
the
creatures
first
to run into.
neuterer.
The first neuterer.
But yeah, so those are a few of like the big changes and things that we are introducing going into this next campaign. I wanted to be, I'm looking to improve the state of play. I'm looking to, but at the same time, I'm looking to adjust things on the fly where it needs to be in a organized manner, if that makes sense. So like the stuff with 2024, for example. But yeah, so, well, I guess the big question is, do we want to talk about campaign 2 or do we want to do our Q&A first? I feel like I've done a lot of talking for y'all.
I figured we can do the Q&A first and then like campaign 2 stuff afterwards as like a way to bring some excitement or like kind of like tease what everyone's like thinking of or
I like it.
something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Joe said the right thing.
And chat, you are welcome to
I also
ask. Chat, you are welcome to ask your own questions in the chat as well. This is going to be a very chill, just kind of discussion, a little bit of a yap session about how much we liked campaign 1 and the stuff we liked, the stuff we didn't like.
Question.
Yeah.
Would mostly to help organize the legit questions from the shit posters. I'm looking at you, Squinto. Would it be more
Get called out.
would it be more preferred for like any audience questions being used for like channel points to like highlight the message?
I think that's a great question, or a great idea. In fact, I think I have, hold on. I think I have a redeem in here. Let me find it. Where are my redeems? Channel points.
1500 highlight my message.
No. I mean, that might work, but I originally, way back when, had a redeem to where, like, you could ask a question. But I don't see that in here. So, yeah. Chat, if you want your question answered, if you want a question answered from us here at the Roundtable, use the redeem, use your channel points for the highlight message, and we will get to it, time providing, of course. In fact, if I could have somebody like
focusing on it.
Yeah, if I could have somebody
Here,
actually like type that up, and one of my mods type that up and pin it in the stream. Thank you, Bun. But yeah, so my gamers here have already written up a bunch of questions for me, so we're gonna start with those. So, I guess if y'all want to consult the interrogation room, and whoever wants to go ahead and ask a question first. A lot of these are gonna be directed at me, but I will also have questions for my friends as well. I'm an innocent being and I'm being subjugated. You spelled it wrong, first of all.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a 4 in there.
No, we will not shoosh about this. You shoosh.
Yeah, so
I know your hot take, Squinto. You're not innocent.
I guess
I know
I'll
there
go
are a couple really good questions in here.
I'll just start from the top.
Okay.
Let's go. What plot hook did we wind up ignoring you really wanted to do?
It's not necessarily that y'all ignored this one. In truth, I kind of steered you away from it. With the rest, with the collecting of the fangs of the court. Because obviously y'all didn't collect all those. On the advice of your friend Nicholas to let the Blood Towns deal with that shit and, let them get fucked up by the stuff relating to that for once, and y'all started putting
Understandably so.
Let me actually, hold on. Let me pull that document up. That's the big thing that comes to my mind. Aside from that, there aren't a lot of plot hooks that I threw at y'all that y'all actively ignored. The only other thing was that y'all never finished the dive, which is not a big deal, and honestly was totally understandable since circumstances providing. Or considering the circumstances. So, let me see. So, the ones you didn't get were the Tome of Nishar. The one with that was, that tome was in the possession of an astral dreadnought. Yeah. Who was actually kind of a chill guy. His big thing was that he liked games. Funny enough. But he could have been negotiated with, but he didn't want to give up the book. So the way I was going to do that encounter, had y'all continued with that, it was going to kind of become like a game show style thing. Y'all were going to be broken up into teams and have to complete objectives and tasks. Some puzzles, some combat, some like utilitarian tasks. Not all of them I fleshed out when y'all opted to go a different direction, but that was the general idea. One of the funny things I had in there was that I was gonna have y'all fight like tiny, like mini astral dreadnoughts, kind of like mud crab size astral dreadnoughts.
Astral
Alright, that's funny.
Steve Harvey.
That's actually really funny.
I'm sorry, it just popped into my head and I couldn't get it out. I just see the
Yeah, I was gonna
mustache.
give him like the big old mustache, and he's gonna be like, "Welcome all, we're gonna go on for you today."
So all we had to do was just say dirty shit and just watch him freak the fuck out and give us the book.
In fuck kingdom, Steve. What?
Naked grandma!
You're
For 5,000 points!
the other option.
Naked a rock!
The other option he was going to give you, in exchange for opting not to play his game, was that he was going to pull out a deck of many things, shuffle it, and then say, 3 of you pull from this deck.
Oh,
If you do it,
no.
fine, I'll give you the book, but you have to deal with whatever comes. It could have been good,
that-
it could have been bad,
It could have just gone ugly.
it could have been ugly.
I'm gonna be real. That game show sounds really nice, but boy, that deck of many things, that would have been chaotic.
That's...
Yeah.
Oh god, that's just fantasy Squid Games.
I gave you no shit. I gave y'all the deck of many things because you didn't pursue that. Because I still wanted to introduce the deck of many things into the campaign somehow. Just because it's fun.
Can I pull from it now?
We'll get to that. Don't worry. I saw your thing about wanting to
That
pull
will
from the deck
also
of many
come
things.
with the potions, probably.
I actually hold on. I need my bag. Because what
The
I
juice
have
that makes
here,
you explode.
what I have here somewhere, I have an actual like physical deck of many things. And so I was going to shuffle it. I can't actually find it. I thought it was in my bag. But I was going to like actually physically shuffle it and pull it at the table.
Hi, Ninja.
Hi, Ninja!
Hello, Ninja.
Yo!
To all players, what is your favorite story beat from season 1? I'm gonna hold that question actually because I'm gonna.
I got it. I
Um,
got it.
Okay. I'm gonna hold that question because there's a question coming to me that's similar to that, and I was actually gonna also redirect it back at them. So I'm gonna hold on to that. But yeah, that was the big thing that y'all missed. The other one you missed was the Crown of Normandyr. Normandir's fucking crown. Obviously, y'all, and I'll address the other one here in a second. Now I'm getting tangled up over my words. To get the Crown of Normandyr, that was going to be this huge dungeon crawl. Y'all may remember the mention of, I can actually pull it up on the Austerios map. There was a mention of the Shard. Y'all actually started to pass by it. Oh, I think I see. I belonged to the wrong account on here. That's fine. The Shard right here on the map. This was what y'all were passing when you were doing your original journey into Dragon's Reach. That's y'all were attacked on the Lake of Austerios by the Hellfire Assembly, by the Blood Talons. That Shard is a dungeon that was specifically, well, its origins are unknown, but its use for this matter was actually storing the Crown of Normandyr because of how much of a big deal that was. But but the thing about the Spire or the Shard is that every day at dawn the shard would completely, kind of blueprint style, now that I'm looking back on it, it would reset its layout.
Oh.
Blueprints.
Rooms would move, floors would change, so you could go to sleep on floor 1, wake up the next day on like floor 6.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So
Yeah.
that sounds similar to this movie Patrice and I watched the other day called The Platform.
Mm-hmm. I think I've heard of that.
Where like it was like a bunch of prisoners are in this like very like multi-leveled like prison like
Yes.
structure.
Yes.
And they like at the end of at the beginning of every month they were either higher or lower depending on what feels like random situations that happened during the month. However, I think that if they didn't like act on their baser instincts, like, you know, kill people or be selfish, they would go on a lower floor.
So that was easily the most difficult and the one that would take the longest. I didn't even like fully write out the dungeon floor plans for that. Like, that was something I was still like in the process of making when y'all opted to go the other way. And honestly, that's the one I'm a little relieved y'all didn't do.
Yeah.
But then there is the obvious one with the Breast of Muldoon that y'all went to collect from Goroth. And y'all never made it there because you ended up going back.
Yeah, we smelled something funky in that town.
You sure did. And honestly, it was for the better that you did, considering how the results of that sort of became like a long-term thing. But Goroth was a two-headed, three-armed, he's labeled as a behemoth, but I was going to primarily use like a modified giant stat block for him. And then it was going to be an encounter with him, because there was no way he was letting you take the breastplate. And then at the end, y'all were going to have to one of y'all, at the time it would most likely have been Ravon, was going to have to do a what I wrote was a pain-based test to try and retrieve the chest plate. I was thinking about doing something related to the lava itself, but I felt like that's probably a little extreme, so I didn't do that. I didn't do anything, but that was the idea that I was leaning towards. I was like, no, that seems a little too much. I could just do like, I don't know, a bed of burning coals or something. I was still in the process
June.
when y'all. The thing I had planned out was the encounter. I even had like a map and everything. In fact, I think I have the map. Hold on, did I archive the map?
I don't know, do you?
I did. Hold on. So this was the map that I had. Oh god, old art jump scare. This was the map that I had set up for y'all.
Ooh.
Damn, that is old art.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was
Caitlin C37, by the way.
yeah. Right? So I had set up and I had prepared that encounter. What I hadn't finalized was what the final test at the end was going to be. And then y'all ended up going back, and I was like, sweet, I don't have to worry about it.
One less thing to worry about.
Excellent. So that's to make a long answer long. That was those were the only things that I threw y'all's way that you ended up not doing. And again, that's not really y'all ignoring it. That was me pushing you in the direction of other shit. I railroaded y'all.
Choo choo.
But yeah.
That was kind of an invested answer. Maybe we could get one that's a little shorter to compensate.
Yes. Whoever wants to go next. Anyone could read the questions, by the way.
Yeah.
Biggest treasure they missed.
The biggest treasure y'all missed. This is kind of a two-parter answer or I guess this is more or less answering two questions because let me see. There's one in here that I need to find. Where is it? There's a question in here that I remember reading and was like, oh, this is similar. I can answer this with both of them. Any items we didn't pursue that stuck out? And actually, this could kind of go with the question I just answered as well. So there was, going back to the talking about the dive, there was at the very end, at the very, very end of the dive, there was a massive spider lair back there.
I remember that.
I remember there being Spideys.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, Sarah was the first one who got the glimpse of the spiders in there. Hi. There's a button up here. Oh, okay. Sarah was the one who got the first, like, real glimpse of the spiders when y'all were in the dive. And y'all didn't get very deep into the dive at all, which is understandable considering what happened. But it's at the very end of the dive, after you cleared out the large layer of spiders, you would have found at the very end a bit of a treasure hoard. It's not like dragon hoard size, but it was pretty significant. It would have been your first major pull on your adventure. But the most important thing about that hoard was that there was a singular box with a ring in it. Whoever put on that ring and attuned to it would learn that the ring was sentient. And that the ring was... that the ring had been around for a very long time, like centuries and centuries old. And it was going to be kind of your lore drop item. So one of the things it would let you do is that it would let you cast legend lore once a day. And the voice inside the ring would tell you all this information regarding whatever. And what the twist was, what it was going to be at the very end, was that you guys would eventually find out that there was in fact a genie's soul held within the ring.
Oh.
And y'all would have been able to pursue that sort of side thing of trying to release the genie. I don't have the name in front of me. I don't remember the name, but it was something that I had written up. And when y'all left the dive, I was like, okay, I'll kind of keep this on the back burner in case we go back. And we never really went back, just because, y'all were going to other places, y'all were doing other things, I was throwing other things at you. And ultimately, it wasn't, like, a huge deal. It was just meant to be a fun item to give y'all so I could yap more about my world's lore. But yeah,
Look at this dude, thinks he's slick.
I know. But that was the one, in regards to the question, that's the one that comes to my mind the most, because it's a fucking genie, Yeah. But yeah, so kind of answering a couple questions there in regards to biggest treasure and then the items that y'all didn't pursue. Not that that item necessarily stuck out, but that y'all that was there and y'all didn't acquire. A lot of the other stuff y'all were able to acquire. Some stuff I kind of made up on the spot, truthfully. But I can't think of a lot of like items that I threw at y'all, except for like things that like Arxis had that y'all just like didn't have the money for whatever reason. There weren't a lot. Go ahead.
I still think about that Ioun stone we never went back for on the way to Dragon's Reach.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else to add on to that, so if we want to go to the next question.
I got one.
What's up?
Okay.
So
What's your question, soldier?
it's the last question that I have here. This is gonna sound a little lengthy, so forgive me.
Yeah, all good.
So, in some cases during the campaign itself, we had certain party members had people in their backstories that were painted to be some form of like antagonist or someone to just stand in the player character's way. And then during the game itself, they seemed to be either like misunderstood or like in the case of Rao, in some form of like feeble state.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as like Druilla, she was a puppet essentially who was trying to break free, and it was an honest to god accident that she pushed Corbin into the prime material. So was the reason for this what was the reason for these like shifts in the character's like overall personality as opposed to, I guess, as written?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of addressing the examples there. The first one being Rao. The big thing with Rao was Rao was fully actually fucking dying. And oddly enough, I was still planning on keeping him as a bastard. His original face of forgiveness to Kore was actually a front initially.
Called it! He's a fucking bastard! You were never nice to me, what do you mean?
It was supposed to be a thing where later y'all were supposed to find out that he was, in fact, a motherfucker. And what he was doing was trying to get on y'all's good side, initially, to where he could send y'all on a quest to retrieve an item for him. And I never fleshed it out fully, but it was... Rao was ultimately looking for a way to extend, or in some cases, eternalize his life. Bro was trying to become immortal.
Not anymore.
No, fuck you.
And as I started working on it, because that was originally supposed to be the Haven arc that y'all did with Kaya Gadir and all this stuff. But as I was fleshing it out, in a lot of cases, I didn't like the material that I had written. But I was, so I pivoted a little bit in the direction towards the stuff with Orcathion and Kaya Gadir, because some of that stuff was actually kind of related. Like, one of the things was, oh god, I've forgotten her name, but one of the members of the 10 Ravens that y'all encountered while y'all were in Haven, she was going to be related to that. You were originally going to have to try and race her to the item Rao wanted you to retrieve.
Interesting.
But then I ended up like leaning more towards the stuff with Orcathion and Kaya Gadir and like the political intrigue around like the Lunar Choir and the city itself, and I just liked it way more. I just thought it was, not only did I like it more, I thought it was straight up like written better. So I ended up going that direction. As far as Druilla, ultimately the stuff with Druilla, I came to a decision later on, not super long after she was introduced proper, but probably a couple months, was that I really wanted Cor Ladora to be the antagonist in that scenario. Because obviously, like, there's the whole thing of Cor Ladora, like, keeping Flit under wraps. Cor Ladora having that connected backstory to both your characters, Flint and Corvin. And as far as Druilla went, there were a couple moments where I really tried to lean further into, like, yeah, I'm gonna make her an absolute fucker. But then I realized that I would have to, if I did that, I would have to keep one-upping myself with Corladora and make Corladora worse than Druilla. And so I kind of came into this odd internal battle of, well, if I'm doing this with Druilla, I have to do this with Corladora, and I felt like that was going to discredit the work that you and I had both kind of put into Druilla up until that point. And that's kind of where the idea of the Violent Hunt came from, because I wanted to, because I was well aware about how Druilla was originally meant to be Corvin's rival and an antagonist to his character. And so with the Violent Hunt, I did really want to show off the absolutely fucker side of her, that side of her that just was, I'm a bad bitch, nobody's gonna fuck with me, I'ma fuck with them first. I wanted to put Druilla in that situation of, like, if she were a true, proper antagonist, one that exceeded even Corladora, what would it look like? But as far as your group went, I wanted the stuff with Corladora, I wanted her to be more of, like, the antagonist, like, oh shit, we gotta watch out for her sort of scenario. I hope that makes sense. I hope my words are coming across coherently.
Yeah, I get the idea. Like, you had a very clear... So you had someone who was very ambiguous in Druilla, based on what Joe mentioned. And then you had someone who was just an absolute fucker in Corladora. And putting them in contention for, like, key antagonists for the two of them just didn't quite sit right. Like, it didn't quite land right.
I didn't want it to be a battle of
who's shittier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it pretty clear cut that Corladora was the POS in that scenario. But there were originally ideas brewing around Druilla about, like, oh, I could go this direction with Druilla. I could, like, I was originally with Druilla, I was gonna go with the aspect of it wasn't an accident. She's playing you. Don't fall into it. And then as I started writing more and more about Corladora, I got into that point of contention where I was like, well, I don't want to discredit the stuff with Druilla. Maybe I can build Druilla in a different way. And I like to think I did an okay job with it. If I didn't, then I'm sorry. But that was kind of my thought process with all of that.
Sorry, CG, but my honest reaction was, like, it wasn't really, sorry, I'm trying to word this to where it doesn't sound like I'm being
take your time.
I'm pokey.
No, you're fine.
Like, the initial reaction was definitely one of a concern. I'm like, oh, they made a clear villain. Oh, this is an interesting route. And for me, it was more like a mirroring of sorts of, like, how I guess platonically tied both Corvin and Druilla was, in terms of, like, both of them knew what it was like to grow up in Navilis. I mean, how cutthroat and opportunist everybody has to be just to get ahead. Like, you can't, like, only a handful of people can get up from nothing by an honest to God method. So they knew what it took to survive in a way, and just how they grew from that into somebody a lot more, I guess, decent is the word I was gonna use.
I did try to because I know it wasn't what was originally intended for the character. I did try to actually put a lot of those aspects of the envisioned Druilla into Marissa, actually. Like, I just wanted to make Marissa the bitch with a capital B. You know? And
Job well done. Mission
seriously,
accomplished.
Fuck that lady. Yeah,
Like,
no. You did
honestly-
good.
You made it very personal for Punk.
yeah, personal for a couple people. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
I hate to be selfish. The most personal. Hi, how's it going?
No,
True.
You're totally valid.
Yeah.
You were the one who was the most interesting to her.
She said, I'll
I mean-
choose the twink.
Clearly, I'm the most interesting amongst the group, but go on.
And meanwhile, while we're doing here's the very interesting Corvin. Here comes Split from the flag. Beep beep.
I can actually sort of circle this. I can continue this on, segue this into another question that's on here, of what happened to Corladora. That is not something I can fully answer, because obviously she's a character that's still around. She was originally an Archfey. I can't confirm nor deny if she'll show back up again. But what I can confirm is that she, after leaving, she is in the material plane. She is now a recluse, living on her own, away from worldly possessions, but living a very, very private life now. Vastly different from the life she was living before, but she is in the material plane now.
Kind of crazy how she would go from like a life of hedonism to just seclusion.
She's
Well,
paying penance.
Yeah,
Truly.
we pointed out that like the hedonism did so much harm to her. It makes sense that she went for the full farmer retirement route.
I based Corladora off of Grost, the demon lord of fuckery, basically. He's the one who is like very heavily into like the hedonism and like, you know, sex is a concept and not it's just a thing you do. Like, who cares, you know? It's what I want. I like money. I like women. I like wine. I tried to pull a lot of that into Corladora. That was what she was originally based off. So it was very much, her leaving was very much like the going from smoking like 3 packs a day to stopping cold turkey.
That's a good way of putting it.
And it's a very sobering experience for her going forward. And as kind of addressed in the epilogue, nobody knows where the fuck she is. The people within the Iron Conclave actually, after a time, tried to see if they could find her. Honestly, more out of curiosity than anything else, and they weren't able to. So,
I guess that makes sense.
who knows? Who knows? I mean, I know, but
It's also like, last little thought about that. It's kind of funny how at the peak of her awfulness, Novellis was the happiness festival from Curse of Straw, but done right.
oh, I was prepared to take that festival into a really dark way. But then I remembered the Winter Solstice event that I had done with y'all already. I was like, I'll save that idea.
Let's have
wasn't there
one
for
party go okay.
River was not here for that. That's true. That was before
That
River
is
ended up joining.
Right before I came.
That
Yeah.
was when Jericho was still a member of the party, and that was when Jericho had his reunion with his father.
We miss you, Sav.
Hi, Sav.
We did extend an
going,
invitation to
buddy.
Sav to be here tonight, but Sav has their home game tonight, unfortunately. But big
yeah,
shout out
she
to Sav.
wasn't able to. I did ask him if Sav had any questions, and
Don't worry, I
did not get
also
back with me.
begged her
Is Sav still raising money for the car fund, by the way?
Oh, absolutely.
Can
She is struggling hard right now.
Can we grab the link for that and put it in the stream chat real quick?
Yeah, good idea.
Let me try and find it.
So Sav recently had a pretty significant accident and has since then been trying to raise money for car repairs. So if anyone has a little bit of money and is willing to contribute a little bit, obviously make sure to take care of yourself as much as you can. If you have anything you contribute, every little bit helps. As kind of displayed in the message, so far we've raised over $800 out of the total of $1,500, so every little bit helps. If you have something to help, I know Sav would appreciate it. Yeah.
I think find another question. Does anyone have one? Because if not, I think I've got one for all of us.
J Frost had a couple really good questions. I'm wanting to see if he wants to throw one of them at me.
I actually do have a question that I would like to ask. What art gave you the most trouble preparation-wise? I've always been curious at that one.
It's not necessarily the one that gave me the most trouble preparation-wise, but the beginning of the campaign, while it wasn't necessarily like the most difficult thing to prepare, I was still a pretty fresh DM at the time. As I kind of talked about, I was running a game up until that point before I started with y'all, that one that ended up falling apart primarily because I left. We won't get into that. But then I had been running this game actually with my in-person group. And the in-person group made it up until the part with the Winter Solstice and starting that quest line with pursuing the Fangs of the Court. But that was as far as they got. So I was still going into this. I was still pretty fresh as a DM. So that basically that stretch of the start of the campaign to when y'all arrived in Dragon's Reach is probably the one that I would use as the answer to this question. Again, not necessarily because I had trouble prepping with it, but because I really was truly still getting a handle of the ropes as a DM.
Okay, fair enough.
Aside from that, I mean, the Fangs of the Court thing was pretty extensive in terms of prep, but that's mainly because it was basically me going here's a bunch of side quests! Go! Do some of them! And then having to be like, well, what's an appropriate level for y'all? This? Okay, let me prepare this thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. I know, like, one of the big things, especially when it comes to, like, preparation, is, like, trying to find that healthy balance of, like, okay, the players are this level, what would be an appropriate enemy to throw at them for this? Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to, like, trying to balance out a boss character and minions. That can be an absolute pain in the ass.
Yeah, it certainly can be. However, I will caveat that there is always the way of, if something's not working, you can always pivot. So like, if a boss is fucking you over for whatever reason, and I'm like, uh-oh, this could be a TPK or whatever, I can always be like, oh, you know, he missed, he flubbed a roll. I mean, well, I'm looking at the die, it's like an 18 or something. I can always do that.
The villain has the upper hand. Time to monologue.
Combat was never really the thing that I had trouble prepping, or at least I had few issues prepping. The only time I really had issues was when I would throw something at y'all. I'd be like, yeah, that seems solid enough, and then y'all would curb stomp it, and I'd be like, okay, on to the next thing. Looking at Project Hydra, Jesus Christ, or Operation Hydra.
That was fun.
I'm glad y'all had fun with it, because I did not. Because I came up with some cool boss concepts for that, and y'all curb stomped every single one of them. I was like, all right, well.
No, that's not true. I remember that Lily and I had a fair bit of trouble with our invisible enemy.
That is true. That is true.
Oh.
So
It
if you
also
don't mind,
didn't
this
help.
kind of. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
No, you were talking before me.
I'll make it quick. This kind of does surprisingly. This actually works to pivot into like another question, if you would all be all right with me asking. Tark, what was the most unexpected action that we did that threw you off the most?
Anytime I got a question of, I have a dumb idea. Anytime I got
for
that,
me-
I was just like, oh, here we fucking go. No, I can tell you so, point of clarity, I did read all these questions going into this, so I can sort of contemplate my answers a little bit, because I'm a socially anxious motherfucker and need everything laid out before me.
Yeah, before we left, he was really anxious that he didn't get everything done that he wanted to.
I sure did.
And I look at his phone and he's typing at a stoplight.
I am.
Jesus.
In regards to this question, the one that stuck to me most immediately was actually Rovan's deal with Archivar. Rovan, J-Frost, out of his own fucking will, being like, I want to completely throw away my character's happy childhood. I was just like, yeah? Okay. What? Sure?
Made for some damn good development there.
Oh, it most certainly did. But I was just like, oh, damn, okay.
You're like, are you sure about that?
Because I was fully expecting y'all to get into that encounter with Archivar. I thought y'all were going to take him through his paces and make it out of there like bandits, but Rovan saunters on up and goes, here's my childhood. I'll take one artifact, please. And I'm just like,
You're like,
not,
okay.
not only that, but then going the extra mile to then say, also, I don't want to remember this conversation.
Don't let me remember this. Okay, bye.
Cinema. Me as the DM just being like, oh, you know the gif of the guy rubbing his hands behind the tree?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wait.
That was me
I
in
remember
that
the
moment.
one with the. Oh, God. Wasn't that Shaquille O'Neal just behind the tree, just rubbing his hands?
There it is.
No.
That's
Where's
not
the camera
Shaq.
going?
Oh, it isn't. Oh,
No,
I'm
the
thinking
tree would be
wrong.
behind
not-
Shaq. Don't get twisted.
That is
True.
Wait, no, hold on. I think that
That's
is.
He looks
not-
like
That's not Shaq.
No, that is
He's not tall
Shaq.
enough.
Or
He's not
the
tall
head
or
is
wide
also,
enough.
Also, the head isn't big enough.
I don't think I've seen the full extent of that gif. I didn't know when the camera pans over to another version of him in a pink suit.
It's got
The
real
more you
Survivor
know.
high energy going on.
He looks like Anthony Anderson.
But yeah, then obviously, like, anytime I would get I have a dumb idea, would always be really fun.
He does.
Another one of these that I wanted to point out was the original shape water aneurysm.
Yeah, that one's as
That was pretty fantastic. I let that slide once. I was like, all right, done that, never again. But I loved the idea. I was like, I have to reward that. That's really fucking creative.
For me, it's the anytime you sighed, anytime I'm like, hey, buddy. You're like, no. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime Joe goes, hey, I want to cast animate objects.
Yeah, that's
You're like,
good
stop
thing.
it! Stop it! Just reach through your computer and grab Jeff.
I love the spell. It's so funny.
It's great. It's
Mhm.
awesome. It's a great spell.
It really is like
It's a great spell
terrifying
for the
thing.
player.
Yeah,
As the DM, I'm like, fuck my life. Here we go. I gotta get a fucking token for this shit.
this is why in another game someone has conjure minor elementals, and I'm just like, just roll it all at once. We're not gonna deal with an extra 8 people on this fight.
Literally.
But we can move on to the next question. But God,
I think this would be a good segue into this next question pair.
yeah.
What was the most brutal thing each party member has done to an enemy? And this is actually a question for us, not just Tark. Though Tark, you can
I do
provide
want
your
to hear
opinion.
y'all's answers for this.
Yeah.
I can tell you
How do you
mine.
do it?
I can
I
tell
can't
you
remember.
mine
Ooh.
because this is the one. This is the one that was the made me the most. Oh my god! Was Corvin's feeble mind on an
Oh,
ancient
yeah.
gold dragon,
Yeah.
Fuck
that
you.
was-
and then y'all
Fuck.
pushing him into the abyss of lava and letting him fucking sit there. That was where I was like, oh my god! And don't get me wrong.
Stop! He's already brain dead.
Don't get me wrong. Absolutely deserved. But that was where I was just like, Jesus Christ. Also, have to address the modified memory on Marissa.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Mhm.
100% deserved.
I have
Still,
no
oh my
regrets.
god.
And, no, you shouldn't. And I knew that one you had been mulling on that one for a while.
So that was originally for Elrock, and like
Oh, that
when
I
like
didn't know.
well, yeah, because like I originally got the scroll of modified memory at 9th level to great expense from Arxis to be like, hey, I want to like this was during the fucking research into Argomancy. I wanted to be like, oh hey, what if I just make somebody forget that they know Argomancy? Because clearly, I wiped it from my mind, and I was able to rid it from my soul. Knowledge of Argomancy spreads it, or I think that was I think that was the explanation behind it. That at least Tart told me. And then I was like, and then Tart was like, by the way, yeah, no, what's her fucking Aurelia is way too far gone. It's not gonna work. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that
Well, I
was
got
what
this
I was gonna say.
scroll.
I
Who
remember
am I gonna
there
use
was a
this for?
time where you wanted to use that on Aurelia. And now you know
It was
why. Because, well, that was true. The other thing was she was under the influence of. She was Normandir's
Yeah.
vessel at the time.
Yeah, you would have been targeting Aurelia, which is basically targeting like the shell of the peanut.
Don't get me wrong, it still was a great idea. I just
Mhm, mhm.
I didn't want you to do that and then get disappointed by the result.
I
Because-
just wanted to torture Elrock with it since Plan A wasn't gonna work. Plan B fucking got splintered into a million fucking pieces until that shit happened earlier today.
Now you may have the chance to do it again.
Yeah.
I have new toys to harass him with.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
So-
yes.
I have, for me and my favorite brutal, I guess. So I got 2. There's a brutal thing I've done to an enemy, and how do you want to do this? So, for the most brutal thing I've done to an enemy, technically, I was debating this one because like, in terms of brutality in quotes. There was no counter spell, which is still probably one of the best things I've done this game. But there was also, in terms of actual brutal thing, the red-headed mage from episode 1,
Yeah.
who I paralyzed for life.
You wanted to down them non-lethally, and so I had you break their fucking neck.
Yeah.
Oh my god, CG.
Fucking hell!
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
CG was wild shaped. I think you were direwolf at the time.
Yeah, something like
I
that.
was like, I want to down this person, but I want to do it non-lethally. And so I said, okay.
Alright, bet.
Bro, you
Uh,
made someone
they're still
bedside
alive!
for life.
But piggybacking off that a little bit, the best how do I want to do this was actually the the brood knight that we encountered.
That is one
right
that is
before we
quite
fought Elrond.
memorable for me, actually. I'm glad you said that. Fucking just nuking him while he's in the fucking hole.
Yeah, and just disintegrating midway down, and then just poof, ash when he hits the floor.
It occurred to me way later on. I realized what it reminded me of, and it reminded me of the Hell 16's Hell Splash that he does on Cell.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's so good.
Just fucking nuking his ass in a hole. Beautiful, beautiful.
That was mine. Did anyone else have any really big standouts?
God, I can't even think of any. But I mean,
I have the
there's a
memory
few,
of a goldfish, so.
Mood.
I can't think of any right now.
I mean, I think for Corey, again, it would have to be the shape water aneurysm, right, Corey?
Yeah.
It'd have to be,
Yes.
honestly.
It was pretty fun, but also just I hate that Contagion got ruled a certain way, but I did love smacking bitches with Contagion.
It was
Oh,
Yeah.
Contagion was such an MVP this campaign.
It was.
Yeah.
Even though we changed the rules on it like 3 different times.
Yeah. I need to
It
actually
reads-
see what the
it
rules
reads
for
poorly.
it going into 2024 are. I hope that's changed.
They simplified it a
It
bit.
does 11d8 now?
Yeah.
Contagion?
Yeah!
Read that.
The target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 11d8 necrotic damage and have the poisoned condition.
Oh, that's right. They got rid of all of the like,
Oh.
Different
Different
effects
ways.
it could be.
Oh.
but they
that's
instead they traded it out for being a hell of a blast spell.
Yeah. So if
Fuck
they
you, get sick.
if they fail, they get the poison condition. They take the necrotic damage, and then choose one ability when you cast a spell. While poisoned, the target has a disadvantage on saving throws with the chosen ability. They must repeat
Oh,
the
that's
saving
pretty good,
throw
too.
at the end of each of its turns until it gets 3 successes or failures. If it succeeds, the spell ends on the target. If the target fails 3 of the saves, the spell lasts for 7 days.
Okay, so that's not like there's still some of the flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that the new version is. I'm not gonna compare like better or worse, but the loss of flavor
Oh.
does hurt a bit.
Wow, and then now if you cast something to end the poison condition, so like if I were to come up and do lesser restoration, that person who's been smacked with contagion would have to reroll the con save, and if they fail, it stays.
Oh, that's really brutal.
Yeah,
Ouch.
that's good to know.
I did think of something for Rovon though.
Eh.
Rovon had a lot of good ones, but when he was in a bit of a way, there was that time that he made everything but worse by cutting off the dick of a fire giant.
Oh, yeah.
I did forget
Magni-
that.
Oh yeah, was
What
Modi.
the fuck?
I did forget about that.
I cast neuter. Sink.
Power word circumcision.
We don't hear
got
about
the
that one
wrong-
in the Wizard Wars.
Bro got the wrong Greek treatment.
No.
Man.
See, but casting instant Brazilian wax though would fucking hurt.
True. I'm gonna have to remember that one for when I'm dealing with Bob and his Tabaxi character on Saturdays.
I cast mend butthole.
I
You're gonna-
cast
you're
second
going to
day
pres-
period cramps.
Oh!
You're gonna freaking Brazilian wax a tabaxi, you monster.
Evil.
Oh god. Ah!
Oh!
I'm keeping it in the back pocket.
Oh god, no! I cast eternal heartburn.
Let's
Oh.
to make sure we get through as many of these questions as possible. Let's go ahead and move on to our next one, if that's cool with everyone.
Yeah.
Alright. Anyone got one that they wanna throw out?
You can find the chat up blind. There it is.
If it's a question that somebody else asked in that channel, by the way, you're like y'all are still free to ask it.
I mean, you
Because
know,
I know some
my
people had more
3.
questions than others.
Easter eggs?
Easter eggs is a good one.
There were a lot of Easter eggs and references to other characters and media in this campaign. Not all of them I can name. I did list a few for the sake of answering this question, actually, a couple that I thought off the top of my head. There was obviously, I kind of talked about it as we were getting closer to the end of the campaign. I realized how heavily inspired, how heavily inspired by the Darkspawn the Oregon were, the Dragon Age Darkspawn, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna lean a bit more into that because I really like that. There was obviously with the organism that y'all fought on Mount Doomhorn, the obvious inspiration for that was Dead Space.
Yeah.
Then one of the big ones I thought of was the person who gave Rovan his sword, Akira Tetsuhiko. That actually, at the time, that was supposed to be a direct reference to Bearers of the Torch. Because Akira, at that time when I wrote him, Akira was my character, Oma's, who some of y'all are familiar with, my character's sister, or my character's brother, sorry, who, when her quirk had developed, had seemingly obliterated her brother, being Akira. And what I was gonna do kind of like a planeswalker kind of thing, in that, no, he didn't die, he just kind of ended up here, sort of. And then obviously that idea got thrown out the window when on Barris Nero ended up taking the role of Akira in that game. But it was supposed to be Akira was supposed to be a direct reference to Oma and that character that I had made. And then the name for the sword, Raikiri, was a reference to two things, actually. The first one being, it was a reference to Kakashi's signature move in Naruto, the Raikiri, or the lightning cutter.
Chidori.
Chidori.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's all similarness. I'm losing my mind. Sorry.
No, you're good. The other thing that it was a reference to was around that time that I had started writing that, I was actually playing Neo, which is a Souls-like game by Koei Tecmo. And there's a katana in that game, and I don't remember if the weapons have like individual names or if they have like, you know, like group names. But I remember having a sword in that game that was called Raikiri. And I was like, oh, wait, that's a great fucking name for a sword. And so I stole that.
I'm stealing it.
I stole Originality is dead. Truly, I've been saying it for a long time. I stole that shit and put it in my game, and I was like, that's cool.
You were just strategically transferring equipment to an alternative location.
But yeah, those were the ones that I had written down, but I mean, you could go through probably any episode of this fucking campaign and be like, oh, that's a reference to this. That's a, you know, that character's inspired by this. There are plenty of, characters and other things that were inspired by other shit. There's a big one that I'm actually trying to think of because it's one that I thought of the other day, but now it's escaping me.
Uh-oh.
He's gone.
The words go by. Oh, bye.
It's gone. If it comes back, I'll mention it. But yeah, there were plenty of references to other shit in this campaign. Because, as I said, Originality is dead.
Johnny has a question. Hello, Johnny.
Oh, does he? Does he have the channel points to redeem it? Or is this a
shithead
question? A shitty
I'm-
question?
I'm waiting to see what comes through.
You got this, Johnny.
I will depending on what Johnny's question is. I will actually address Squinto's question next, because it is a question that we kind of have on here that I want to go into, because I feel like it's a really good one.
Okay.
Johnny, what's your question?
What?
Johnny, are you
We all
here?
look and stare.
I'm grabbing you.
Blinkers.
Blinkers. Everyone stare at him. You have 2
Oh,
questions.
he has 2
now?
questions now.
Oh boy,
Whoa.
bro, this thing, buy one get one free.
As long as it's not more than 4, I can count.
Where's
What
the
about this
point
coupon?
question button? It's the highlight message. Just put it in
Yeah.
there. The highlight message, redeem.
Put mine in there. There we go.
Have a flush.
Papa flush.
Love that dumb
Alright.
fucking emote.
Tart and I will just come downstairs to one another and we'll run up forehead to forehead and just say Haba flush.
In regards to season 2, will any Borfin boys make a possible appearance? Motherfucker, I run the game.
So the answer is yes.
So we
Hello?
got half of the Borfin boys, is what you're saying.
Genuinely though, I do have plans for possible guest appearances in campaign 2, and Johnny may be on that short list. That's all I'm allowed to disclose.
Noted.
I love that I was just supposed to be a guest.
You were supposed to be a guest, and then I don't know, something
Now
happened
you're
and we
stuck
kept you
with
around,
us.
I guess.
Unfortunately, this is what happens when you don't read your contract right.
Yeah,
You
should
get
have
you
read
get
the
trapped
line.
for another 4 years.
Should have read the fine print.
Consult your legal representative.
But babe, you're a
Let's-
dog. You can't write.
No.
Borg.
Let's do Squinto's question.
Yes, so I'm gonna take Squinto's question. I'm gonna take Squinto's question. I'm gonna actually kind of pair it with the one that I have in mind. So Squinto's question was, Bun, if you can read it again, because I don't have it in front of me. I'm playing a bread salesman. Buns of many. God damn it. Buns for all. Jesus.
Why there's so many of me. Favorite story beat from campaign 1.
Favorite story beat from campaign 1. I'm gonna pair that with a question that was actually written already, which was, which arc was my favorite to run? Because my answer for these 2 questions are the same. My favorite one to develop and run, I technically have 2 answers for this, were the can I be a guest? Have a flush. I mean, maybe. I don't know what the guest log is gonna look like for campaign 2 yet, so who knows. But the 2 arcs that I had the most fun running and the most fun preparing were actually the last 2 arcs. So the first one being the War of the Shattered Sun arc, the titular arc, and the last arc being the Assault on Paradigm. And I feel like that's partially because those are the ones that I had prepared the longest, and those are the ones that I had put the most work into, and those are the ones that I feel personally I put my best work into. I mean, y'all are welcome to disagree, but I feel like I kind of cooked with a few of with those 2.
Personally, my favorites
I hated it.
in retrospect.
CG said.
Yeah, I hated all of it. I don't know why
It
I
all
spent the
sucks.
last 4 years on this.
Hey, happy 5-year anniversary, by the way. I don't think we said it yet, actually.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so as of yesterday, we have been doing this for 5 fucking years. I was gonna kind of mention it a bit later, but yeah, that's absolutely fucking insane. Continue with your
So
I
I'm just
think-
saying we need to make some wooden dice now.
Personally, my favorite arc or story beat to be a part of was the Haven arc, the Orcathian mystery.
That's definitely up there for me.
I really liked that one.
Haven was a location that I had started building, and as I started putting more stuff onto it, I was like, hold on, I can cook with this. And so, like, one of the whole aspects that I think of when I think of Haven was my whole concept for the Dune Striders. That, which now that I say that, I just had the Dune theme play in the back of my mind. Asana Galib, or whatever the fuck he says. But yeah, I was a big fan of the Haven arc. I was also a big fan of the Violet Hunt.
The Violet Hunt was pretty good.
We had a tier list that you made, CG. Which, now that I look, I realize I didn't set that up for us to do together. But if y'all want to just... No, it's fine. If y'all want to give me a second here, I can actually set that up and we can do that together as a group.
Oh, I'd be totally down.
But I can still, like, answer other questions in the meantime.
Does anyone have one?
Find... CG, you sent me... Hold on. I might just be blind.
Yeah, I sent you... It should be pinned
There it is.
in DM.
Yeah, I found
Yeah.
We are consistently pretty blind here.
it. Yeah, we sure
Um,
are.
Maybe this would be a good time to ask something for the team while you're sorting that out.
Yeah! Do it.
I have one in mind, but I want to make sure that it lines up.
Tier maker, my beloved.
Yeah. So, question for everyone here. Was there any character development for your characters that you just did not see coming? Like, when you originally set out to write your character and how you want to play and act them, anything that you were like, looking back on, I was like, I didn't know we were going this route, but here we are.
I really like that question, actually.
But
I
now
can
we're here.
immediately answer this
Oh.
one. For me, it was the curveball that Tart threw me with Oz in the end.
Yeah, that...
For real, that is I didn't see that coming, and I'm actually quite proud of myself as a person for being the bigger person.
I was going to bring that up a bit later with one of the other questions. The question being, like, who was an NPC that got a lot of unexpected character development, I think it was. And he was on my short list for that answer. Because I developed that motherfucker in a way that I didn't fucking expect it to go. Like, I gave that motherfucker a personality. I had originally... Oh, you know what? Here's another thing I can actually reference him to. Oh, hey, CG, those images that you sent me, while they do work on here, they don't work well with the tier maker very well.
Oh, jeez. Uh-oh.
That's fine. We can still talk about it.
I can set up on my end too, because I've done this before, I think. Give me a second. But continue.
If you want to work on that, this is a thing that's honestly a little less important than getting the other stuff done. This is just a little fun thing we want to do. But yeah, I guess to answer to kind of go back into the original question, River, you kind of answering it already. Did anyone have any unexpected character development, or did your character go in one way that you didn't expect?
Well, I think the obvious answer, at least for Flit, was getting into a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember very early on in the campaign you kind of like in passing mentioned to me about how there was no real interest in getting Flint in a relationship. And then one day you were like,
You said, "Ha
well, no, I didn't. In fact, CG one day was like, I'm thinking I'm interested in setting Flint up with Reno. And I was like, oh.
And you were like, huh?
okay.
So the day has come.
Yes, babe.
Me too, Flint. Me too.
Other than that, I also like how we wound up dealing with Corlador. I was fully expecting to have a fight with her at the very end.
I also expected that to be a bloodbath at the end.
Yeah, that's me. Anyone else?
I didn't
somehow
expect
you
Corey to want to be a
savages me.
mom.
Yes, actually. And yet, here we
the whole
are.
Okay, look, the romance with Cedric really. She was only looking at Cedric because she was really worried he was gonna fucking betray the group and fuck us over.
And then she kept looking.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Too long.
understandable. Yeah, she looked and she never looked away.
Oh,
So, I've got a 1, but it's not a player character, it's actually an NPC, and our interaction with them.
Yeah.
Amadeus. Amadeus was actually one of the fun ones, considering, like, originally it was like, you know, oh, Traitoro and whatnot, but then getting to be like, actually be like, hey, no, we actually hold up our end of the bargain, and seeing, like, the dude go from, you know, the pompous ass of a general to, I'm tired, boss.
Yeah.
I'm just tired.
His
That was
qualities
like, I'm
weren't
tired.
exactly redeeming, but it did. Y'all kind of began to sympathize with him at the end a little bit, which I thought was interesting because I expected y'all to either kill him outright or throw him in a cell and never talk to him again.
So that was what Corbin wanted to do. In fact, he did say, "I will wipe your entire existence from the history
You
books."
sure did.
And that was going to be a downtime thing, but everybody else was like, you might want to give up on that. And I'm like, okay, fine.
Fine. I love it being a downtime thing.
Yes.
This is what I do in my free time. I hate you.
I destroy people's. I destroy people's eternal history.
That's such a Corvin thing to do.
It's what he used to do before he came to the Primaterial. Like, he would just ruin people's lives just because they inconvenienced him.
Valid. Me too, man.
He was
Or mess
kind
with
of
his family.
shit.
Or mess with his family. Like, seriously, you pinned something on one of his siblings, and they truly didn't do it. Yeah, no, count your fucking blessings that you're not going to deal with him.
It was Gary's fault.
I can tell you who,
So many divorces.
in my mind, I mentioned Oz already, but another NPC that got a lot of unexpected development that I thought that I'm glad y'all did, that y'all helped kind of push for it because it ended up with this little cool thing, was Kieran, actually. Kieran was meant to just kind of be like a little one-off character that helped y'all with your quest on Mount Doomhorn, and then it was going to be a thing like where y'all could contact her again if you wanted, but then she, like, she went back with y'all and she became a more attached, like, person to your group. Obviously attached to some of you a bit more than others.
Y'all really said, you're mine now.
But again, I was kind of expecting her to, after that adventure on Mount Doomhorn, either going off on her own to do adventure things or explore, or just return home. And she ended up, like, sticking with y'all, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then at the end, she became almost like Reno Light in a way. She formed a new organization called the Seekers, which was devoted to, like, uncovering like ancient truths and like trying to figure out the mysteries of the world, and to the point where even Reno was like, "That's fucking cool. I'm gonna join that." You know?
They point at each other like, you mean work?
The Spider-Man
Yes.
point.
Yeah.
Kieran kind of ended up almost becoming like Reno's successor in a way with this organization that she founded.
Really cool to think about, actually.
Mm-hmm. But that was the one that I thought of in regards to this question. And then of course, Oz, you know, having a fucking personality.
Tart,
Hey,
can I pause you for 2 seconds?
two of them?
Leo, can you say hello? Hello.
Hi, Leo!
Oh, boy.
Hello, Leo!
Hello, Leo.
Hello,
Why do so
Leo.
many people know my name?
Because your dad loves you
Your dad does
and
love
talks
you.
about you a lot.
I know about
He
the
brags
Oh.
about you.
He brags about you. He loves you so damn much.
A hot minute, that's why.
I don't remember.
He's getting ready for bed.
Aw.
Oh, okay.
Get some sleep, buddy.
Sweet dreams.
Why do so many people know my name?
That's a
know
quote.
that.
That is an actual factual quote. One last quote for the quote channel.
I love that it's my kid.
Yeah.
Very fitting.
Because he loves you.
Okay. I have a question to ask.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know
first of all,
it's
did
kinda
anyone have any other answers to the previous question?
yeah, my bad. She's out.
Just because we did wrap on it, I just want to make sure nobody else had any thoughts in regards to unexpected character development.
Wasn't really unexpected. I feel like it was part of the plan, but just Adam Acosta's like unraveling, just I guess like just pulling at the freaking like sweater that was just him.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, like it felt satisfying to just literally walk through his mind.
Yeah, that was an unexpected arc that I came up with. That whole like venturing into Adam's mind and like all the stuff within the Nightmare Realm, meeting Archivar. I'm really glad I did because again, I feel like I kind of cooked with it. But I also wanted to use it as a way to like give Adam like the real depth that he had been like implying to y'all. You know what? That's another thing I can actually talk about. As another Easter egg / reference to other characters or media, Adam Acosta was actually heavily based on River Song from Doctor Who.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's him.
That is
Yeah.
where my name comes from.
This
Huh.
Yeah.
character who,
Really?
rather than in River Song's regard, where she was like progressing the Doctor's timeline in the opposite direction, his
Yeah.
was, as y'all's timeline was going along, him popping up in random places in your timeline.
Yeah.
So another kind of reference.
That's
there.
kind of okay. It was really hard to not play mistrusting random because I adored him. He was a fun NPC.
I'm glad y'all liked him. He was definitely one of my
Like
better
Corbin
ones.
hated him at first, and I was like, I know, damn it. All right, Corey, you
I
can't
kinda
trust him
loved,
yet.
I kind of loved the rivalry between Adam and Corbin, though.
That
It
was
was
great,
fun.
especially because it was so one-sided too.
Oh, hello,
be
Corbin.
completely-
Oh, fuck you, go away.
To be completely and utterly fair, some random guy comes up, says that he's been our friend for fucking years or whatever, and getting super
Who are you?
friendly with us. That is fey fuckery at its finest, and he was not having it.
100%.
Yeah.
And then at the end, y'all kind of became bros.
Corbin is
Well,
like,
yeah,
we've
he's-
played these games before.
And it
Which is
all
hilarious.
came because of a redhead.
Yeah.
Well, someone did.
Yeah.
Ah,
Hey, yo!
You're welcome.
Shot the shot.
God damn.
The-
But
the one time I was selfish, I'm getting lambasted for it.
hey, I ain't judging. But we'll move on from that. J Frost, you had a question.
Okay, it's kind of a little dumb to ask, but what was the group dynamic for the Bloodhounds like outside of the missions and shit? Like,
No.
were they friends? Were they like just office workers that just did like karaoke night a couple times? Like, I kind of want to know what this was like.
It was, on the surface, it was mostly professional. Like, it was, how do I explain this? It was kind of adjacent to your group, actually. Imagine kind of your group without the camaraderie of, like, being friends and knowing each other. Like, the Blood Talents in themselves, they knew each other's capabilities. They knew what each of them could do and their contribution to the group. But most of them weren't friends. Like, for example, Asha and Elrock. Asha hated Elrock.
Understandably so. All my homies hate Elrock.
Asha fucking hated Elrock. But they did good work together. So she got over it. And she was like, whatever. That's not my problem. My problem is getting my work done. It was a professional relationship. Now, you did have the people who were a bit closer. So, like, the example that y'all saw most evidently was Lucian and Marissa, who were on friendlier terms. And there was even hints of, between the two of them, the hints of a possible romance between the two. That was never fully established, but it was a possible establishment of romantic interest that could have gone either way, truly. Like in the Nightmare timeline, that y'all saw in the Violent Hunt. They didn't end up together, but they could have, but they didn't. And that ultimately was partially because, you know, Marissa fucking basically held Adam at gunpoint, but that's besides the point. But as far as the group as a whole, they were, I'm trying to think. They worked well together, but they weren't coherent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they didn't have any. There was no bond.
It was
yeah.
That's a great way of putting it. There was no bond, but they knew the roles that they played.
I feel like the only way they would bond is if the boss basically was like, "Hey, we're having a mandatory company pizza party."
No, you kidding? They'd argue over toppings for 3 hours.
There would
They
actually
get the
be
get along shirt.
there would actually be a lot of arguments between Marissa and Elrock specifically, because while they both had great ideas, they both had very different ways of going about completing their goals and their ideas. Obviously, Marissa is very charismatic and manipulative. Elrock is very logical, and he always tries to, like, he's logical, he's experimental. He wants to, like, minimize possible damage to their assets and their resources, where, you know, Marissa's like, well,
They're expendable.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, do you have the resources? Use them.
Yeah. So it was, they worked together well, but they, as Bond kind of said, they didn't have a bond like your group did, and that
It was because they had to, not because they wanted to.
That was why whenever y'all encountered them, why it was never the full group of them together.
Oh, I like that reasoning.
They didn't
Because
like each other.
ultimately, they didn't like a lot. They didn't like each other all that much. I mean, they tolerated each other. But also a lot of them were in that mindset of, well, I work better alone. I would work better by myself than going along with this person, for example. Or, you know, some of them being like, well, I need to do this. Let me take such and such for, you know, insurance purposes. One of the examples being when y'all retrieved the Staff of Zigu, and y'all came across Lucian, who was it? It was Lucian, Oz, who was Amnon at the time. You didn't know about Oz yet. And then Bison, who was Ravon's father. You didn't know that at the time. They brought all the marshals together because they were like, well, we know we just need to get this fucking thing. The fucking magic users are doing shit elsewhere. We only need martial prowess. Why would we bring the whole group? It almost became a thing of them being too spread thin to form that bond and that coherence. Which, again, is why you never saw them fully together as a group. The one time you saw them together as a group? The first time you fucking met all of them on Ara's ship, where they all had that singular goal of stealing Nexus. That's the only time in this campaign you see them all together in a single place, and even then, Asha isn't there, because Asha doesn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And I love that the only time...
Persona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only time that they're all together is to kidnap a child. Says a lot.
Honestly, thinking about it now, it does make sense with a lot of the personalities. Like, you could definitely tell, like, with Oz and Marissa, they would be at each other's throats. The more marshals are kind of like, oh, you know, we're cool, you can fight, cool. And, like, Asha and El Rock just absolutely hating each other. It just made me laugh thinking about, like, just evil corporate headquarters, and they're all just, like, sitting down at a table, trying to fucking
No, it's literally what they are.
What's
guys-
ordering.
You know,
You guys want a good look at... Sorry?
the only...
I was gonna say... Oh, sorry.
The only exception was, funny enough, Weston. Because Weston had the charm that could have potentially brought that group together. But after he was gone, they had no appeal to. If Weston had been there long term, y'all would have encountered a very different group of blood talents. You would have encountered a group who would have been more organized, more coherent. You would have seen that last encounter with them would have probably been your group versus their group and just an all-out battle, an all-out war. And just this fucking slobber knocker of a fight of all of you together. Which I'm kind of glad we didn't do, because, God, that would have been a lot to manage.
That would have been a hell of an encounter.
Oh, that'd
Oof.
be so much.
Did you notice when we pulled up the room in the labyrinth, and y'all got to the floor belonging to the blood talents, did you notice someone's room was missing?
Was it Weston's?
It was Weston's, because he had been gone for so long, and they were like, well, we don't fucking need this anymore. And they repurposed it.
Will you become a freaking broom
Made his room into a
This
pool
picture.
room. Billiards.
Weston was that bottle of glue that could have brought them together, but because he was gone, it was really truly second thought to them, second nature, or an afterthought, I guess you could say.
There you go.
Is it weird? It feels weird to say this, but thank God we killed that guy.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
For multiple reasons. Aside from Weston, the only other focal point of cohesion that they had was actually Aurelia. Because they all
That makes
had a loyalty to Aurelia. And even then, at the end, when things started falling apart, you saw what happened with Marissa. When she tried to betray Aurelia. Marissa was looking out for herself.
unsurprisingly.
And now she a dusty bin.
Changing. I think this is probably a good time to move on.
Yes. Yes.
Especially because we're on the topic of the final fight. What was your ideal team for the Paradigm raid?
Let me pull my Paradigm shit up. Because y'all actually had some really, really solid teams. The big thing that I would have changed from what y'all did. So, for reference, y'all had your disruptors being Fangs, Kieran, and Amos. You had, for your home team, the Akodea, Adamakasa, Drew, and the Anima Sanctum. For your army suppression, you had Canthmore, and the Obsidian Province with Adriel Zeros and the Iron Dominion forces. Your civilian team, which was Cassius with the Evergreen forces and Druilla. You had your Project Patronal team, which was Esmeralda, Ball and Fallweather, and the Iron Covenant, and then Nicholas. You had your Orient Deterrent team, which was Reno, Rose, Sindri. You had your prison team, which was Sarah and Raven with the Chroma Guard. And then you had your Bell team, which was Theon, Garrett, and Alice. So actually, you had a few like 10 out of 10 teams on here. The first being your home team, because honestly, I wouldn't have changed a damn thing about the home team. That was putting all those together to defend your homestead was great. Having the Anima Sanctum there to watch your backs was excellent. Because if y'all had not included the Anima Sanctum, that would have been very, very, very bad when suddenly, Paradigm goes, hey, that's where they're coming from. Hey, guys. You had two other 10 out of 10 teams, but they actually lost points because of a decision that y'all made with your setup. Your army suppression and your civilian teams were actually 10 out of 10 setups, but they actually lost points because y'all didn't do anything with the central spire. And that's the big change I would have made. Instead of saying a team for the Bell, because the Bell ultimately was just weird, and while it was important, it ultimately could have been an afterthought because it was more of a long-term thing for Paradigm. I would have, instead of making a Bell team, I would have had a team go for that Central Spire, because the Central Spire was, had one of Lucian's Arbiters in there, and he was on Overwatch. He was the guy who was relaying who should go where within the city. The Iron Covenant, or not the Iron Covenant, the Iron Dominion forces are going here, so go blah, blah, blah. But also, he was the sharpshooter. He was the one who almost took out Zeros.
Yeah.
He was coordinating with another one of the Arbiters who was their stealth expert to target the officers within the opposing forces, within y'all's forces. So because of that, they ended up losing points, but it ultimately didn't end up mattering all that much, except for Zeros' major injury. That was the big thing that happened with them. But otherwise, they were 10 out of 10 teams.
God.
The Disruptors, I gave a 9 out of 10. Because I'm trying to remember why I gave them a 9 out of 10. I think it was that the thing I would have recommended was what would have made that team a 10 out of 10 for me was actually replacing Kieran with Sarah. Your stealth expert.
That makes sense.
None of your teams were bad. I should clarify that. I'm just going over what like the pristine 10 out of 10 team would have been.
What your triple S score would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Project Returnal, the only thing I would have done with the Project Returnal team was maybe have put one more person in there, like one more mythical or a hero or something. And that's kind of really how it is with the rest of these teams, was that y'all only had so many resources. There was no way to do a perfect 10 out of 10 for all these with y'all's resources, because ultimately they were limited without sacrificing objectives. So like if y'all had dropped the Bell team as well and had dedicated those forces elsewhere, you actually probably could have had 10 out of 10 teams almost all the way through.
Gotcha.
It was purely for your smaller teams. They just needed an additional number to help them out to make it that 10 out of 10. But, I mean, they still got all their jobs done.
Mm-hmm.
Your lowest team in terms of score was, let me see. It was your Bell team with Alice, Theon, and Garrett.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was the leftover team.
That was
we
the
knew we
leftover
wanted
team.
Theon on, but
That was the leftover team. Garrett was tricky in this. Garrett's best spot would have actually been to go with Project Returnal because Esmeralda was there.
oh yeah, Esmeralda would have kept them in line.
Esmeralda would have kept him in line, and ultimately Esmeralda is the one that Garrett vibes the most with because of the pre-established relationship with Esmeralda's sister Ariana. What I probably would have done in this scenario is that I would have taken out the Bell team. I would have sent Garrett with Project Returnal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have sent the Chroma Guard for the Central Spire. And then I would have actually put Theon and Alice with Sarah and sent them to the prison.
Gotcha.
Or put Rose with Sarah, put Theon in on Orient Deterrent.
Mm-hmm. Theon on Orient Deterrent would have been good, but I figured Reno was probably good enough.
Yeah. There were not a lot of bad options considering
Yeah.
your group's resources. Your biggest struggle was making sure that you hit as many things with such limited resources.
Mm-hmm.
Which y'all did real fucking well.
You did.
Yeah. I'm glad we took the time out to debate that. Chad, you don't know this. We probably don't know this. We talked for like 3 individual sessions behind the scenes trying to get everything sorted out.
It's true.
But yeah,
those updated images, most of them work CG, so we can work with that.
okay.
I'm still gonna kind of put it on the back burner, just
That's fine.
time provided.
I know
because
why.
Yeah. But we'll move on from that one, methinks.
I actually have a couple. I have a couple that I think could be rapid fire knocked out.
Yeah.
If that's all right. So this is kind of all about items, and I've got like 4 questions lined up for this. Favorite item that you gave us?
Favorite item, honestly, was probably Dandelion.
Dandelion's a good pick.
That's you.
I'm gonna cry.
Dandelion was something that I hadn't originally planned, and was something that I was able to just keep building on and keep building on, and ultimately it became a major part of Lily's character arc. And I mean, obviously we have that huge emotional connection to it with, oh, I don't know, River now having a fucking tattoo of
Of it.
Dandelion,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It
Kind of does.
It was probably the item that had the most significant emotional impact, not just on the characters, but on us as participants in the game. I would put Raikiri up there as well, as probably a close second. Because again, Raikiri was one that I was just able to keep establishing and keep adding on to. Raikiri was my first weapon that I had put in this game that evolved as it went along. And then obviously, you know, it had Ravon have like a crisis of faith now with the Stormlord now whispering in his fucking ear and having a friend in the Storm Spirit Raikiri. And ultimately, I like to think that that spirit was a significant factor in Ravon not necessarily forgiving his dad, but moving past his problems with his father to be the bigger
Yeah.
person and try to save him.
Yeah, having a little friend at your side will help you out with that.
Obviously, there are a bunch of really good answers to this, like obviously, I'm a sucker for a bag of holding. I really thought at some point in this game, y'all would have thrown a bag of holding in another bag of holding and fucking threw it somewhere and just let it rocket shit for like a boss encounter. I don't know. But those are the ones that are probably the most standout for me. But there are a lot of answers for that question, honestly. I was a pretty big fan of the genie ring that I lined up for y'all, but my attachment to that really fell off the longer the game went on.
Fair enough. That might tie into our second one. Did he happen to be in our keep? Did you move him into our keep?
No, it's still there in the dive, just hanging out.
Just
You
waiting.
do in campaign 2. But yeah, so what was in our keep?
And unfortunately, the sad part about it is that someone is going to likely get that ring and be like, "Oh, fancy ring! I'm gonna pawn this off for however much."
So it might come back to us.
It honestly, what it could. The thing I most expect to happen is that obviously the average person doesn't know how to attune to an item. I expect it to end up on the ring of some noble, and then all of a sudden they have a fucking voice whispering in their ear, and they're like, "Oh, what the fuck," you know. And then the ring builds up a reputation of being cursed, and driving people into madness and all this stuff. And it actually maybe end up becoming a cursed item at some point.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, but that's so cool. That's a great way for an item to become cursed in a way.
But that's nothing I ever solidified. That's just thinking about it now here on the spot. That's what I think would happen. But I don't know. I haven't written that. I think the next question was, what else was in the keep? The keep is something that I actually have a bit of regret about, because that was something that I gave y'all, and I gave that to y'all expecting a lot of time to go into it, but then with all y'all's other resources, it kind of became a thing where y'all were like, yeah, we can explore the keep, see what's in there, but it was never like explored in depth, if that makes sense. And so I kind of hit a point where I didn't really flush it out all that much either, and so I stopped pushing it, which is not a big deal because it was just another thing for y'all to do. But as in regards to what was in there, anytime y'all opted to explore the keep, I actually generated results
Ah.
So what I would have y'all make your checks, and then based on your result, I would roll on a specific loot table, with a specific rarity based on your result, and then I would generate a list. And I'd be like, that'd be good to give to them. I can give them this, yada yada. The big thing that I had in the keep is that if y'all had continued to investigate, you would eventually have found, oh god, I'm forgetting the term. I just had it.
I believe in you. You got this.
You would have found Zygmodus's phylactery,
Oh wow.
which was
Oh,
now innate.
shit.
It was innate, but you would have found it and been like, oh fuck.
Guys.
Yeah. And they would have been like, oh no, it's a paperweight now, basically.
I'm like, oh,
That'd be funny.
okay.
Yeah, they had the problem with the keep was that a lot of the things in there that y'all could have discovered were like trophies, like
Mhm.
like heads of things that they've killed, the phylactery, the innate phylactery, which is why I really, when y'all went to explore the keep, which is why I tried to prioritize, like, yeah, y'all find old loot from the Vanir Garden here, because it was their old keep, and they did spend a lot of time there. So yeah, that was kind of the deal with the keep.
Fair enough.
So we got about 11 questions left in the Discord.
Okay.
Uh,
You said there were more
So-
item questions.
yeah. So this is a little bit on the topic of the items. The mystery potions.
I wanted to use them, but I didn't want to get us
Yeah.
killed because it was endgame when I got him.
I
We got so many.
had a list of a bunch of possible effects that it could have been.
I didn't want to result in a TPK by like giving someone. If I threw it like at an enemy, I didn't want to give him resistance to something that we accidentally like relied on or something.
I did have a result that was like, you just die, just straight up.
Oh,
That was
Jesus.
a
That makes
possibility.
you explode.
But I also did consult for a number of these. I consulted this list here, which I'm going to put in our Discord. It's a bunch of random potion effects. So, like, there's one on here that's like, you fall asleep for 1d4 days. Your hair triples in length. You lose your reflection permanently. Like,
Oh god.
and then I had my own small list, which was not extensive as this one, but it was similar things. Like one of the ones I wrote was that you gain the benefit of a long rest, you regain your spell slots, you lose a toe was one of them. I think I think I had one that was just you shit yourself just on the spot, just right in your pants.
I love number 27. Your fingers become completely flaccid for 1d4 hours. You can't hold anything.
But
We can, yeah.
that was kind of it. Hey, River,
Yes.
you want to draw from that deck of many things?
Yes.
So, the deck of many things. Let's see. The deck of many things, if I remember correctly, I don't remember if I gave y'all the 13 card deck or the 22 card deck. I think it was a 13 card deck, because the one that the Astral Dreadnought Kalahir had was the full 22 card deck. So do you want me to do this for you, River? Do you want me to pull a card from the deck?
Yes.
Okay. The card you... Oh, that's so fucking funny. The card you pulled, Lily, would have been Knight.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
A a 4th level fighter appears within 30 feet, they believe the fates have called upon them to devote their lives to serving the player who now controls the character as their own. You know what makes that even better? When my character in my in-person game pulled from the deck, when my bard pulled from the deck of many things, that was the card that I pulled.
That's funny.
That
And you know what's even better?
to be homies.
You know what makes that even better? My character, my bard, had a sentient sunblade from the Out of the Abyss module called Dawnbringer. That because I didn't use the sword all that much, I actually had the sword, the soul in the sword, form into its own person named Dawn.
That's
And
cool.
that was the fighter that was with me for the rest of the game. And my DM even went so far as we went along, leveling them up, even when they went off and did their own thing. So I think by the end, I think I actually have their sheet in my phone. Hold on. Because I think
So were the parallels intentional or not?
No, most certainly not. I mean, that card I pulled just now on my fucking computer. I can show y'all.
Oh no, I'm talking about the parallels between your bard and Lily.
Oh yeah, no, not intentional. However, very funny. Let's see. Do I have you in here, Dawn? There it is.
Well, no, the
Dawn
sun's
by
down.
the end of the game became a level 10, 7 levels fighter, 3 levels cleric.
Ooh.
Let's see. They had Sentinel and Protection. It was an Eldritch. She was an Eldritch Knight, light cleric combo.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's real nice.
Let's see. What if
Man, I love
what if
that
I
shit.
right? What if I were to draw again? Ruin. Oh, well, that would have been bad for Lily.
Oh, that's not good.
No, Lily.
Ruin. The player loses all forms of wealth beyond magic items. Personal belongings immediately vanish. Businesses, buildings, and lands become revoked in a manner that least affects reality. Deeds, agreements, or any other ownership documentation fades from existence along with this card. Lily would have lost her sword, her house,
No.
My wife.
your
Her
wife.
His wife?
Bro, I can't believe the fantasy IRS would have got your ass.
Damn.
Oh no.
They
Just
can't
like-
game.
It just would've been
They
Archmeister.
foreclosed Lily's house. No.
No.
How do you foreclose my
Everything I
marriage?
They foreclosed my wife.
God, that's fucking funny.
They took Frostbite!
No.
No.
And pay your bills, bitch.
Oh, I'm down to only having this little cardboard box. Are you Lily? Yes. Sign here, please. Signs. Immediately takes the cardboard box.
Nothing.
Box.
Yeah, so that was a possible those were possible outcomes from what could have happened if Lily had pulled from the deck of many things. I was really hoping somebody would do it at some point, but I'm not upset that nobody did, because obviously that's a huge fucking gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is everyone sitting at a table after the final battle, eating dinner, and like, you know what? Fuck it.
I think that's actually how we did it in my in-person game. I think we were near the end of the game, and we were sitting there strategizing, and like the deck of many things came up in conversation. We were just like, fuck it, let's pull from the deck. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Very reminiscent of from Critical Role Campaign 1. We're gods! Yeah. Jumping off the cliff.
Yeah. So that's mostly the end of the item ones. Does anyone else want to throw out a question? Anyone that's really Burning them, grabbing them.
Grabbing them.
Oh.
Hold on, I already forgot.
Yo?
You go ahead. You go ahead. I forgot my question.
I got one, but it's not on our list.
Okay.
The Argomancy spells.
Uh-huh.
Always wanted to know what the Argomancy spells were like, considering.
I didn't make a full list of the spells. I essentially wrote one spell for each level. I did share this way back when. So, and I never actually went back in and fully fleshed them out either, just because I had the general concepts down. But there was Under the Soul, which was basically reverse bless. You took psychic
Bless, but
you made a
no.
wisdom saving throw, and on a failure you took 1d4 up to 4d4 at level 17 psychic damage, and then on your next saving throw you had to roll 1d4 and subtract it from your result. Yeah, just on the next one. That was the cantrip. There was Crippling Shock at level 1, which was make a ranged spell attack on a hit. The target takes 4d6 necrotic damage, and the next attack the target rolls that the target makes before the end of your next turn has disadvantage. It was Inverse Guiding Bolt. There was Steal the Soul at 2nd level. Select one creature within range. They make a wisdom saving throw. Take 3d8 psychic damage. Furthermore, if the target fails, the caster removes all spell effects on the target, applying it to themselves until the end of their next turn. On a success, the target is unaffected. What I would do now to rewrite that is that I would have done, you take one spell effect at base level, and then with the upcast would add another damage die, and then you could grab another spell effect. There was Invoke Wither, which is the 3rd level. You choose 3 targets. They make con saves, take 3d6 necrotic damage if they fail, and then if you fail, you are marked by Wither. For the next minute, while you are invoked by the Wither, any healing spell cast upon you damages you instead.
Ooh.
And then
Nasty.
yeah. And then it could have been removed with a lesser restoration spell or something higher. This next one is the one that I really wanted to use, but I never really found a good moment to use it. It was Rewrite the Timeline, 4th level. Select a number of creatures equal to your spellcasting modifier that you can see within range, including yourself. The range was 60 feet. All selected creatures must re-roll initiative and take the new roll.
Oh,
Fuck
that's
you.
funny.
Reroll.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to use that on your battle with Aurelia, but she was so high up on initiative, I couldn't justify it. Except for making y'all roll lower, but even then, she was still high up on initiative, so I was like, is there a point? Really?
Yeah, there's really no point. She's where she needs to be to do the most damage.
There was Invoke Null at level 5, which was a concentration spell. You choose one creature, they make an intelligence saving throw, take 8d6 psychic damage on a failure, and on a failure, if they are a caster, they are unable to cast any magic or use magic or cast any spells, including cantrips, for 1 minute, re-rolling the saving throw at the end of each of their turns. On a success, the effect subsides, or if you pass the original save, you take half damage and you're unaffected. That was one I should have used more on some of you motherfuckers looking at the counterspell bard over there.
Definitely.
Or the druids.
Hi.
Or the wife cleric
Hi.
from
Look in the mirror.
Yeah, look at yourself.
It's not my fault my counter spells were like 80% effective.
That's true. Maybe your enemy should just roll better, babe.
Yeah, no shit.
Technically, I was the one who was rolling.
That's true. Maybe you should just roll worse, man.
No, I refuse.
Actually, no. What if I didn't?
Just kind of to address the conversation going on in the Discord, just because it's easier to just say it than to type it out. Understood. So what we'll do is that I'll finish up this list, and then, as much as I would like to do some of the other questions, we'll get into the campaign 2 discussion, and then I do have a special thing for y'all, which will be what we end on, just because it will take a little bit of time. What does anyone have, aside from Joe, does anyone have a cutoff time tonight?
I'm off.
I
Nice.
have to cut off around 10:30, but I can stay for just a wee bit longer if needed.
Okay. It will be past 10:30, so, but that will be at the point where we get into the thing I have, which
Okay.
that is okay to miss. I'm gonna be putting that in the Discord later. But I hear you. Punk, I think you're off tomorrow as well.
Yeah, but I gotta be up early for y'all.
Understood. Okay. All right. So next one was create shadow. Concentration up to 1 hour. If a creature within range were to die, the caster can use the last of their essence to create a shadow clone of the creature. The creature has the creature's full capabilities and is friendly to the caster, making efforts to defend them against hostile creatures. That was kind of the bare bone version of it. Yeah, that was that was a reaction raised dead, basically.
Which is nasty.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That spell was real nasty. Elrock could have done that to Ravon, except for the fact that Ravon's soul got nabbed when he was disintegrated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yoink.
Oof.
And
Ravon,
Elrock,
you got real lucky, buddy.
Elrock would have done that too. And in his mind, he was like, huh, that's weird. I should have been able to. Oh. And then he saw what happened to Bison and he went, oh.
Oopsie
Oh, well, that's
poopsie.
not good. I wonder if I'm next.
that shouldn't
I'm
happen.
too far along to care.
7th level, cripple. Choose 3 creatures within range. You reach out and cripple that creature's resistance to magic. Those creatures automatically fail the next saving throw they take to resist the effect of a spell. This effect lasts for 1 minute or until the target fails a saving throw to resist the effect of a spell.
Wow, no save on that.
Nope.
Oof.
Ouch.
That
But it's a
that is
combo.
why that one's 7th level, because there's no save.
But the
It's a
the
setup
price
spell.
being paid is that you effectively do nothing that turn.
Mhm.
It's a setup spell. That is the sunny day to your solar beam, which
Yep.
next turn might be like disintegrate or finger of death, which they will automatically fail.
Yeah, not good.
No,
Yes,
thank you.
yeah, no. No.
8th level was Chaotic Void. You choose a point within range and cause chaos to infect that zone. Each creature in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make an intelligence saving throw, taking 12d6 psychic 10d12 psychic damage on a failure. In addition, if a creature fails, the target must roll a 1d6, taking a corresponding effect based on their roll. This was very similar to one of the, I think it's a Graviturgy spell, where it was like you take damage and you have an effect as well. On a success, the target takes half damage, is unaffected. On a 1, you were stunned until you made the saving throw again. On a 2, you were frightened until you made the save. All these are until you make the save again, except for 1, which I'll get to. On a 3, you're charmed by the caster. On a 4, you are blinded. On a 5, you are poisoned. And then on a 6, that one was nasty. That one, you took a point of exhaustion that faded after 10 minutes.
Ooh, that is nasty.
Yeah.
Points of exhaustion are nasty.
Getting a point of exhaustion in combat is really rough, which is part of why that spell's so nasty and why it obviously, the odds of that happening are not super, super high because you have to first fail the save and then happen to roll a 6 on your d6. You have to, first
Very
of all,
low
be the target.
chance.
You have to be the target of the spell. You have to fail the save, and then you have to roll the 6. It was nasty, but it wasn't something that was going to be, like, happening every time the spell came up, you know?
Well, unless you're, for some reason, the roll 20
Really
was really
unlucky.
like, no, fuck
Yeah.
you. Stares at myself.
And then, at 9th level, this was the nasty one. Y'all saw this happen to one of you, actually. Extract Essence. You reach out and touch one creature within range. That target must succeed a Constitution saving throw. On a failure, that target dies and their soul is extracted into a crystalline orb that the caster can use at their leisure, utilizing the victim's power. That happened to Corvin with Zygmodus.
Yeah.
On a now
Yep.
here's the kicker about the spell. On a success, so somebody casts this on you and you pass. The spell fails and the caster must make the same Constitution saving throw. If the caster were to fail the save, they die from the spell's feedback.
Oh my god.
It is
Jesus.
the end gamble double-edged sword. You
Talking about double or nothing.
Yeah. This so
Good
what
picture.
what the setup is, for those curious, you do cripple, then on your next turn you extract somebody's essence.
So, you know,
So-
you don't get your essence extracted.
Hey, would you believe
you're
me if I told you
literally-
Aurelia did that a couple of times?
Someone literally would like it's like kneecapping somebody and then draining them of all their blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, those are the ones that I've written up. Not fully fleshed out, but I mean y'all can kind of see where the idea is at. Not a full list, not a huge spell list like Evocation or any other school magic, but
It's something
Something
you're
that-
working on.
yeah, something that I took a little bit of pride in making. Let's do one more quick question and then we'll get into campaign 2 discussion. How's that sound?
Sounds
good?
like a winner. Anyone got one last pick?
I actually see one that I like, and this is one that I can give to y'all as well.
Okay.
Who was your favorite enemy? The question reads, who was your favorite enemy to pit against us? So who was my favorite boss or creature to throw at y'all? This one I would think I would have to think really hard about. But I really don't. I loved Aurelia, Prime, Normandyr, the Blood Talons. The one that I had the most joy throwing at your group was actually Skull.
Oh, that fight was great.
Because that, kind of going back to the earlier conversation, the War of the Shattered Sun was the titular arc, and Skull was the one that I had been building up to the most, because he's the one that y'all heard about. He's the antagonist y'all heard about day one, and y'all knew he was a big deal, and y'all worked your way up to him. And Skull, in another reality, Skull could have easily have been the BBEG.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
It was the build up.
yeah, it was the work y'all put in to get to him, the payoff of having that absolute slobber knocker of a fight. That whole arc basically centered around him, of trying to end that war, learning about his people, learning about his family, learning about his ambitions, and learning about decimation, for that matter.
Ugh.
And then, in my opinion, He has one of the sickest second phase boss designs of almost any NPC I've picked in this
That
game.
was so good.
Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Where you at?
No.
Yeah. The Herald of Decimation. That mwah, chef's kiss.
Mhm.
That's crisp. Beautiful. But I want to hear y'all's. What were y'all's favorite things that I threw at you?
This is probably going to be a weird pick.
I'm gonna just go pee. I'm gonna be listening though.
This is probably a weird pick, but Nithis. There were a lot of, like more traditional encounters, I should say, where we find the bad guy, we defeat the bad guy, and there's like curveballs thrown in.
Mm-hmm.
But Nithis was the one that I felt had the biggest curveball for us to deal with all of the mind-controlled peeps.
You had to be careful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Sis is right about where I came in at, if I remember.
no, you've been here for a while.
Oh god. It was a little
Thank you, background
after?
tart.
I was just I could have sworn Lily joined after the under.
Because
not
I
the under,
remember us fighting Nithis.
the dive. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Lily, Ravon joined after the dive. Lily
Oh.
joined after the Winter Gala.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, that was one of my favorite fights. By the way, the gala.
Oh, the gala was great.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I'm glad y'all like the gala fight.
That was cool.
It's a
Yeah, it was
party in D&D. It was inevitable.
That's why I threw it out. That's why I did it early, because I was like, I mean, it's gonna happen. I might
True.
as well do it sooner rather than later.
A fucking like expensive ass gala on a ship. What's the other like inevitable? Something's about to go wrong here.
Thrown in
Big
prison.
speech from the king.
Mm-hmm.
Big speech from the king.
Lots of people collected in one space
Mm-hmm.
without their
portal about-
weapons.
A portal about to open up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
It's a three-way tie for me.
Ooh. Oh my.
First would be the Orient Dragon, because that was absolutely a fun fight.
I'm glad y'all
I
like
I
that.
forgot about that fucker.
The second
The
one would have
Orient
been the dragon the dragon that we fought over in
Orcathion?
Vale, or Cathion.
I am a particularly big fan of that one because of the twist reveal of Orcathion not being a rust dragon, but being a silver dragon.
Mhm.
Y'all would have never had learned that had you not left Diana behind, and you would have gotten in there and been like, why does he have cold breath? What the fuck?
And finally, it would have been Amadeus' second form with Dagon.
Mm.
That was a this is phase 2. Oh, this is not gonna be easy. Oh, I thought we were just gonna
You're-
absolutely beat the
As
shit.
a
No.
player, you're watching his health bar refill.
Yeah.
That is
And get
no.
longer.
Wait.
You're not allowed to heal.
Because that was a
Why am I hearing
serious...
Latin?
Yeah.
Why am I hearing Pain's theme? Why is there
I feel like-
Gregorian chant?
What I feel like meteors are about to fall from the sky. Chat, are we cooked?
Yo,
No,
who's
he
this
was.
dude walking up with the samurai armor and the weird eyes?
Help!
What about the rest of y'all?
I almost said
River?
punk. I almost said
Enemy?
punk and Lily.
My alarm for my meds went off.
It doesn't necessarily need to be a favorite enemy.
Like a
It can also be like
boss.
a favorite fight that y'all had.
I liked the underwater.
The ship, the sink.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the
With the mummy guy.
Mummy Lord.
yeah.
That one I am particularly proud of, to the point where I may end up writing that as like into its own one shot, and I don't know,
I agree.
maybe
River.
publish that, because real neat idea. And I
It
cooked
was
with
a
that
really
one.
neat idea.
Yeah.
A mummy lord just evaporating
Mhm.
everything while over an ocean.
Yeah,
So cool.
Such a great idea, yeah.
I'm glad y'all like that. I'm particularly proud of that one.
I don't know, the Gala fight was really fun.
I like that y'all liked the Gala fight. That's not one that I think about all that often. I'm really glad that y'all like that.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
you
you just
should.
traumatized
Maybe
me.
I
Yeah,
should.
nerd.
I think what was really good about the Gala fight compared to other fights is there were a lot of moving pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Like
There were
Corvin being quote unquote mind controlled, Theon with the
Diana
forest
getting
gate,
kidnapped.
protecting Codus, yeah.
There were also stakes in
Stabbing
that
Corey.
fight. There were
Yeah.
stakes in that fight, in that people were
Mhm.
going to die. Like, people who had no business being involved in that conflict were going to die without your group's intervention. So
It made you feel. It made you guys feel like heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than adventurers, we were heroes.
That, you know what? That's probably it. That's your first, like, in regards to like the public eye. That is your first like true heroic moment.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that.
I do have.
I'm making note of this.
I do have a question that I personally want to know before we switch to campaign 2.
Okay.
It is the one question that I saw both Jake and J Frost react to that I asked, which was, what would have happened if Ravon lost each fight?
It was kind of expunged upon in the game. If Ravon had lost his fights with his father and died, Ravon would have been J-Frost would not have been removed from the table, but he would have lost Ravon as a character permanently.
No, baby boy.
Oh my god, do I cry?
Ravon
Okay.
would have, much like they agreed on with the pact that they made,
Yeah.
Ravon's dad would have brought Ravon back, and Ravon would have sworn fealty to his father. And
I guess
Ravon would have become... Ravon, truthfully, would have become another Blood Talon.
Yeah.
What's
Welcome
worse
to
than
the
one
office,
blood talent?
And
Two!
And J Frost would have had to have picked from my list of NPCs to take over.
But thank God that didn't happen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Who else was gonna parry 2 meteors?
Oh my god, it's that weird cat out of nowhere!
I would not have
was
let
still
Agni
so
back at this
fucking
table.
funny.
I miss
Like,
him.
That would have been the one that was like, no, pick something different.
God.
It's Agni with a mustache.
Yeah.
Ragni.
That leads me to a great question.
Mhm.
Could we have a one shot where we get to bring back our side characters?
Probably.
I
No.
really miss. I really liked Bones, and I don't feel like I got to play them enough.
I can actually
Don't
kind of
tempt
address
me,
this
please.
with one of the questions that was asked, which was times when we threw your plans into the wood chipper. that whole one shot where y'all made like all these
Yeah.
cool characters, like, and I had this like sick. I was gonna throw the cleric beast at y'all, and y'all fucking talked him down. I was just like, God damn it!
I still giggle about that because I made such a battle-focused character
Yeah.
and like spell slots and shit. The only utility
And it
thing I had
didn't
was
happen.
Find Steed, and that was just because I wanted to fucking have a stag as my fuck. No wait, no, I wanted to have a fucking like deer as my fucking mount because that was fucking awesome.
And
Also,
that never happened.
And then
Also, do not tempt me to play Robert. No one is fucking ready for me to bring that fucker back.
yeah,
That was fun.
that's the one. That's like the true one moment. And there are a couple where y'all threw a few small things into the wood chipper, like kind of what I was talking about, like y'all doing the occasional stomp of fucking bosses or monsters or whatever. That was the one where like y'all truly put my plans to the fire, like where I was like, all right,
What
well,
if we
Well,
didn't?
fuck me, I guess.
well, yeah, kind of fuck me, I guess.
That's kind of staring at CG recently from Candlekeep. Thank you, J Frost.
Ding 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 ding.
What's up, CJ?
No, I was just gonna say, you should probably do campaign 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say as well. So, let's talk about campaign 2 a little bit. The big question: when? When is it happening? My friends, it is with pleasure that I come to you today, my fellow Americans. I come to you
No.
today. It is my pleasure
What?
to announce here on the stream, not just to the people at home, but to my players as well, that the first session of Campaign 2, Sins of the Blood, is going to be Sunday, August 31st. My birthday weekend!
go.
Yeah, your
Happy
birthday.
Perfect.
And what a present I get!
Work.
Work! Yeah.
Keep doing it to yourself.
We kind of talked about it after we finished up the campaign. Yeah, I basically gave my players summer break.
Yep. Like it's just so coincidental that we ended campaign 1 on Memorial Day traditionally, where a lot of like schools are like out for the summer, and we're coming back in fucking September, August.
But yeah, so August 31st is going to be provided we can't, or provided,
We can all make it.
okay. So I just now saw
yeah.
Punk's
Check
message.
chat. Yeah, you might want to see that.
I just saw Punk's message. So it will not be on the 31st.
He lied.
I will come back later and I will inform you all when that is, but it's going to be it's going to be roughly end of August. End of August, beginning of September.
Beginning of September.
So stay tuned. As I am just now learning that Punk is at San Japan, August 31st. I knew this was going to happen to you. I was like, I probably should have told them that this is the day I was planning.
I'm sorry, I
we
feel
do-
bad because I just told Bun earlier.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Does
totally
anyone-
fine. It's totally fine.
Does anyone have an issue with the 24th or the 7th?
I think
What
maybe
month?
doing the 7th.
August.
The 7th of
August
September
20th.
might be better.
7th of
Yeah, that
I
would
was
be better
thinking
because
September
I'm busy.
7th. September
Yes.
7th would, because then if we do the 24th, we don't have to worry about people being out for the second session on the 31st.
Exactly, because like it might
fair.
mess with like the
Yeah.
flow and momentum.
Okay.
The only thing I'm gonna say is I do need to watch, like, it probably won't be on any of our game days, but with pregnancy and
we'll
stuff, I just gotta be careful because I need to take
Right.
some classes actually for parenthood.
Yeah.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Read all the books, take all the classes.
Things are subject to change, but the tentative date as of this moment, as of about 15 seconds ago, is going to be September 7th.
I'm sorry!
Don't be
Yeah,
sorry!
Lord.
It's fine!
Fuck, Pop.
Don't worry about it.
The lore has been canonized.
Now, that brings me to my next thing. I have been slowly but methodically crafting a
A way to
brand
murder
new
us all.
yeah, a brand new location for these games and the streams to be hosted.
Oh.
And I am happy to announce that the Dummies and Disasters Twitch name was not taken.
Oh.
And so
Let's go.
perhaps you can see future Dummies and Disaster sessions like this game, Campaign 2, like Rascals and Ravnica. There may be even a little bit of a transfer from the Trials of Eidos going over to that channel. Light discussion. Jake and I have talked about it a little bit. So that is something that is in production. So just keep your eyes open. That may be something that I've just been mulling around this idea of having a one-stop location for everything D&D centered on this channel, because obviously I do a lot of D&D here, and while I don't mind doing it here on this channel, I think having something that's a bit more central, specifically for the purpose of D&D, might do it a bit more of a service. So
it also helps with like catching up on VODs and whatnot, because like I don't know if everybody else has this issue, but I know I have, where Twitch Mobile has a very funky time as of late trying to keep up with some stuff, especially like if your cell service or the Wi-Fi on your phone goes out for like even a brief moment, it will just stop the stream right then and there and just cancel the whole thing. Or the latest thing that I've been dealing with for the past, I don't know, a couple months now, just reverting, just like stopping the entire stream and just going right back to the beginning, even though you're 2.5 hours in.
It's been doing that for me too.
That's good to know.
Not that YouTube's any better, but it's another
better than
option.
Twitch.
But that is in production, so keep your eyes open for that. I'll have more information on that later. With the introduction of Campaign 2, we are going to have new resources. We're going to be moving to a new game page here on Roll20 with Jump Gate, as we talked about. I'm currently in the works of making a new overlay for Campaign 2. I'm deciding right now if I'm putting one together or if I'm commissioning a specific someone for it. That person and I were in talks a little bit ago about it, and this kind of conversations kind of fell through just because we both got caught up in different things, so I'm probably going to reach out back to them soon. So you may have more visual resources going into Campaign 2, so that's exciting. As far as the setting, we talked about this a little bit on previous streams. Campaign 2 is going to be far more centralized, localized actually would be a better word, than Campaign 1. Campaign 1, Exilia Regalia, was meant to be this globe expanding adventure that was meant to serve as a proper introduction to the world and the lore of the world. Now that that has been thoroughly established, I am going to be localizing the setting for Campaign 2 significantly more. So Campaign 2 is going to be within the northern portion of the nation of Gaia. More specifically, in one of the broken off segments of the nation, and the map is going to be a bit revised to reflect this. The northern part of Gaia is going to get a bit of an overhaul. But the northern part of the nation of Gaia has become its own nation, known as, hold on, I have the name on here.
I believe in you.
As Anshirel. Within Anshirel, we will be seeing the port city of Blackwall. Anshirel is less mountainous than the southern parts of the nation of Gaia. It is much more of foresty, tundra-esque environment. So we're going to have a lot of cold, a lot of snow, and then we will have the sort of major port city known as Blackwall, which will be the primary point of residence for campaign 2. Obviously, it's not going to be only there, it's going to expand further than that, but that is going to be the primary location in campaign 2, at least starting off. So Blackwall is as I mentioned before, it's a port city that experiences a lot of trade with other nations, and it is run by a very intriguing elven lord by the name of Lord Novak Harrow, who I'm excited for the party to be introduced to. Or sorry, Harrow Novak. My mistake. I got the name swapped around. So that is the primary setting. And then it is going to be taking place 8 years after the events of the Godworm Conclave, roughly 8.5 since the assault on Paradigm. So we will be in this new age, with the rest of the world still kind of coming down from the events of the Godworm Conclave, and with that, obviously, there's a lot of prosperity, but there's also a lot of political intrigue that comes with that territory. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at in terms of the setting. And then
Eat that shit up.
what?
I eat that shit up.
Yes, good. And then,
I love good.
my friends, we will be introducing a new cast member to our table. Something that I'm very excited to announce. My friends, it is with pleasure that I announce one Flustered Bun
Guys, me.
as a permanent resident. Why are you all acting surprised? Y'all knew this already.
Not really.
They had to
It's
do
called
it.
being a hype
I
man.
thought
Look,
we were supposed to act surprised.
Sorry, we had first surprise.
Now you get
Now
second
about second
surprise.
surprise.
Yes.
Listen, the script called for audible gasps. I had to fucking oblige.
Yeah.
Yes, Bun will be a permanent member of the Dummies and Disasters
Permanent.
table. Permanent. Now I can't say the fucking word. Bun's gonna be a player at the table going forward.
I got you.
So Bun has known this for a while. Bun has been working on her character for campaign 2, and I'm very excited by what she's put together thus far. So look forward for more Bun. I get to run a game for Bun. I'm very excited.
And possibly break my heart.
Yeah. Wait, what? But yeah.
In
So
character.
those
In
are
Minecraft.
that's the big info for campaign 2 as of this moment. As I kind of mentioned, there's a new game page. The party is going to be starting at level 3 going into campaign 2.
Nice.
I was kind of on the fence about doing level 3 or level 4 starting off. And I eventually settled on level 3. But I'll be completely transparent. Them being level 3 is likely going to be a short-term stint, and they'll probably get into level 4 a bit quicker, and then be level 4 for a period of time. I currently have no plans to bring the party to level 20 for campaign 2. It is far more likely that the party will end up going to about level 15. In my mind, that is what I see being the projected end point, but things are subject to change, obviously. So I look forward to advertising your players the most goblin ways possible to mess with your game.
Thanks, Bob.
We love you, Bob.
If there was ever a god, I know that he died the moment that Shadow Dancer Bob was put on this earth to torture me and humble me at any waking moment.
Like, speaking
Love
of
Bob.
which,
Love that dude.
well, speaking of which, we all can blame Bob for the coins because I wholesale ripped that off from him.
Thanks,
I have
Bob.
no shame.
Bob.
I have no shame.
Bob is the inspiration for the blender. But
Yup.
Who wants juice?
But with that,
I could go for some.
that is pretty pretty much all the information I have to publicly share
That
in
wouldn't be
regards to campaign
spoiler.
2. Yeah, that obviously wouldn't be spoilers. Or that doesn't pertain to my players particularly. But more information is to come. I'm going to be posting more and more about campaign 2 on my Blue Sky. We are currently getting references together for art to be made for our new cast of characters going into campaign 2, which that is going to remain a mystery until we begin. Until
it is done.
Until it is done. So, with that being said, I have one last thing to show y'all. I know a few of y'all have to go here pretty soon, which is fine. One of you put together a little something special. I'm going to turn off the music here. And I am going to I'm going to pull up a thing here. Give me a moment. Hello, friends. It's me, Waveform Tart. This is a bit of a weird little interlude here. You'll actually probably notice that this is the end of the video. So we had a bit of a technical issue go on with the last portion of the stream that you're currently watching. What happened was that our dear beloved CG made a bit of a highlight reel for some of the best moments in the campaign, and roughly about halfway through, the compilation's about an hour long, but roughly about halfway through when we were watching it live on stream, OBS started to shit the bed, had some major encoding errors. I don't know why. And it got to the point where even after turning off the video and turning off a bunch of unnecessary stuff, the stream was just having a lot of major issues. So we just kind of called the stream there. We had been going on for about 4 hours. So the highlight reel, which was the last thing that we did, the highlight reel can be viewed down in the description below. It should also be up next on the playlist if you're watching this from the YouTube playlist. But I just wanted to make you all aware and thank you all for, watching for the past 5 years. And be excited for campaign 2. Thank you. Bye-bye.